You guys know that we have been rebuilding the lake house, and something really important to us is our AC. And if AC goes out, it can be an expensive problem and an uncomfortable problem. Many new homeowners face a breakdown in year one, but American Home Shield can help. When a major system or appliance breaks, like your plumbing, electrical, or refrigerator, AHS will fix the covered item no matter its age. So you can focus on the fun parts of the rebuild, not surprise bills. Visit ahs.com/viallfiles for 20% off any plan today and see promo details. That's ahs.com/viallfiles for 20% off. See ahs.com/contracts for details, including fees, limitations, and exclusions.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another jam-packed episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, joined by my articulate.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, no, this is crazy.
Oh my God.
This is crazy.
Take that one back. We got so close.
Actually, no, she's not.
A flawless
Apparently
wife.
flawless.
So we were on the plane. We were flying this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I downloaded Chat GPT for the first time.
Okay.
I was just kind of playing around with it, asking random questions.
Cool.
And I was listening to a podcast talking about how like you could roast yourself using AI. So I asked Chat to roast me.
Awesome.
Had some pretty funny jokes. Pretty good ones.
Brutally
Some
honest,
zingers.
for sure.
Yeah.
Huh?
Brutally honest, for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't hold back.
I was like, oh, that's,
Did not hold
that's
back.
fair.
Nick
that's
was crying.
So ChatGPT could say the things I would get fired for.
Very.
Then I asked it to roast my wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took it upon himself
Wait,
to do
I
that
would like
one.
to hear these roasts.
This was an interesting turn of events, for sure.
You're like, wait, did I ask?
Literally. I was like, no, actually, I'm mentally healthy right now.
My day's going great.
I didn't want to know.
Let's see here. Nick Viall could be standing in a Costco TV aisle with a t-shirt that says, I have a podcast, and still somehow feel undercredited. I don't think that's true. It's funny, though. So then I asked it to roast my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, Nally Joy has the confidence of someone who knows she could post one bikini carousel and reset the internet with an Etch-a-Sketch. It's like,
Okay.
that's not mean.
No.
Number two, Nally's Instagram stories are proof that if you are hot enough, people will watch you unbox supplements like they are a Succession plot point.
It's just
Number
being
three,
like
Natalie
Natalie's
Joy
hot.
has perfected the exact tone of voice that says, I'm humble, but the sentence she's saying is, so many brands want to work with me.
Nick literally was like pissed that AI was like my
No, I was
fan.
Building you up.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah,
four,
it's like,
Natalie
wait a
is so
minute.
good on camera, it's honestly suspicious. Like, she does couples content like someone who has never once had a bad angle in her whole life.
The couple's content
I
doesn't
know.
involve
I'm like,
me.
I don't know.
I know, this is ridiculous. Anyways.
This was his first question, was roast my wife. So
No, my first question was roast me.
First it was
Well, that
roast
was my first
myself,
question.
and then
but
make me feel better by roasting
Yeah.
my wife.
let me know I'm not alone.
it
by
gave me
roasting
some
my wife.
gave me some honest feedback. Some of which I felt, not just the roast. I was
You're like, fuck, do I talk about having a podcast too much? Yeah.
in Costco. Anyways, we have a great episode lined up for y'all today. Shannon
Jam-packed.
Beador returns to the Viall Files to talk OC finale, and she
Yeah.
doesn't hold back.
She does not hold back. Also, we have the Love is Blind reunion to cover. We have a little He Said, She Said with Ali and Anton, who will both be joining us this episode as well. So a lot to get into. Also, we have a great Going Deeper.
Woo.
It's certainly a He Said, She Said, but at the same time, Jordan and Sparkle Megan will be on the couch on Wednesday,
Together.
catching up
Yeah.
together. Both with child.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both with
And
child.
so, that'll be interesting to have them together. I'm not sure what to expect, but it will be a banger of an episode. I can promise you that. Also, we have Timothy Simons from the hit show Nobody Wants This. Now, season 2 is on Netflix. Everyone's
So
watching.
good.
Everyone's loving it. He returns to the Viall Files. He was a guest back in 2000, a long time ago.
Really? What
Yeah,
was he talking about back then?
We were just talking. Just talking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was long before any of you probably showed up. Question for the ladies in relationships, marriage, serious, like you're married, you're engaged, we're married. If you
You're
die,
married,
how long?
allegedly.
If you die, how long is it acceptable before I get remarried?
Ooh.
Whoa.
I feel like we
Never.
have. And
Never.
Whoa.
What if I got remarried in
Well-
a year?
Oh my God, who is she?
No, that's crazy.
I would come back and haunt you.
First of all, like,
That's too soon. In a year?
I'm not going to get into who just got remarried. His wife passed away in June of 24. Also, he's had a glow up.
Oh.
He's got a beard now.
Mm.
He's like hot now. He's smiling in pictures. His new
Is
wife.
his
I don't know.
wife young?
I do not know what his old wife looks like. They had 4 kids together. I don't know
Wow.
how his wife passed.
Wow.
Did he smile before?
Yeah, I only saw one photo, and the before photo was like a portrait
Okay.
photo
Okay.
of him smiling.
Yeah, no, a year and some
But it was
change.
less than six like a little over a year.
Too soon for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm married. I don't think you ever need to get married again. You could have like a girlfriend, I guess, but also like you are older than me.
Doesn't it take like a year to mourn someone's death or something, as they say?
Isn't the rule? It's however you like however long you were together to like get over it or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. So like,
Which, I mean, if
give
you're
or
married
take.
for 20 years.
yeah.
It better
Seems a
take 10
little-
years at least to get over me, at the very least.
Anyways, I was.
This is dark, but isn't there a thing where like widowers are hot to people or no?
Are they?
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
there's a fetish for everything.
Yeah.
I did hear that when you're on your period, you're hotter.
Excuse me?
Huh?
That's what I heard.
I've
that
never felt
you're
that
more
way.
attractive to men when you're on your period, apparently. Pheromones.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Some people are werewolves.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been like, she must be on her period.
I'm ready for her. No, I'm beating you away with a stick. Get the fuck
Mm.
away
It's
from
kind of
me.
giving
Maybe that's why.
Edmund.
So do you think this new woman that he was with was just on her period and that's why they got married?
Maybe.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Anyways, it
Self.
was a glow up for me that I found a bit jarring. I'm like, damn, he looks good.
I'd be rolling over in my grave.
Oh, yeah, I definitely feel like I would haunt you for sure.
Mm.
Like your new girlfriend, your new wife would be like, so like things keep falling off the wall.
What if you just like possessed the new wife and then you took over her body?
Ooh.
Because then you're back.
That's
How
like
would
Ghost.
I show Nick it was me though?
You just like know that one secret.
It's like that one scene in Ghost.
Or is it What Lies Beneath?
I don't
Is
know.
that the whole
With Harrison
storyline?
Ford?
Yeah, with
You guys
Michelle
should
Pfeiffer.
come up with a secret. Only you guys will know so that when Natalie comes
Oh.
back to haunt you, she can.
That's a really good idea.
Well, we did have Halloween weekend this past weekend, and it was, I do have to say, more fun now that River's like able to walk and kind of understands the concept a little bit. Last year, she was a little strawberry, and we just like walked around, and no one ever really wanted to give her candy because they knew like we were just gonna eat it, you know. So they were like, next house. But she had so much fun. We were with so many kids, and I taught her to say trick or treat, and she said
Aw.
treat treat, and it was really cute. And she was a little cat.
It was a lot of fun. And then one of the I think River's really fast.
Okay.
She's not even 2. She's got some wheels. But again, I have nothing to compare it to.
Okay.
And then we were trick or treating, and then with one of the families, they have a son, River's age. River was racing, beating him. And now would it be weird to like under 3-year-olds get a bunch of races going?
Not
Yeah,
at
Yeah,
all.
it feels a little
I
bit
think
kind of
that-
like
They have crawl races.
That's what hacky sack
Yeah.
races are.
I want to get,
Princess Diana participated in her kids and won.
I would like to get a group of dads with age ranges and have our kids race for money.
for money.
Yeah.
That's really
It's a
that's like that
thing.
one Seinfeld episode where he races that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You should do it.
I think you should.
I think she's really fast.
Mm.
He was like, damn, she's fast. I'm
What
like,
was he
right?
dressed up as?
The other little kid she was racing,
Yeah.
a football player.
Oh, so the cat's faster
Ah.
than the football player.
Probably a defensive player.
Yeah.
Mm.
What was Louis dressed as?
He was Baby Shark.
Oh, cute. Do y'all listen to that song a lot?
Baby Shark, do 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 do.
Yeah.
Do y'all
Yeah, we listen to it a lot. We listen
lot.
to it a lot.
Also, there were some girls dressed as 6 and 7.
Mm.
What is that? What is it? What
Apparently,
is it? What's 6 and
dictionary.com has
7?
named 6-7 as the 2025 word of the year. It's not even a word, it's, a
It's
number.
2 words.
Can someone explain it to me? Because I also saw someone dressed as 6 and 7. I don't know what this is.
Something kids are saying.
It's
I
like a-
did just call it 67 a couple minutes
It's-
ago, and Sierra corrected me. So apparently I'm Unk and she's not.
It's
What
just
is it?
like it's just
It's a
like a
saying.
nonsensical
Yeah.
saying.
It's the way you say it, and Natalie, please do.
6, 7.
What does it
Y'all
mean?
know I'm on with the kids.
What does it mean?
It's just supposed to be absurdist, I think.
So
it's
it
supposed
has
to
no
be
meaning.
it intentionally has no meaning to piss people
It's
off.
the way you say it. Like that's why people just 6-7.
So, like, you could be like, why'd you do this that way? You can be like 6-7.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I don't think
It's-
that was it.
It's like if you get frustrated, then it's like mission accomplished.
yeah, I think it's just yeah.
Remember the game?
The movie?
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
when you're like, I just lost the game. It was a thing where it was just like, you just say, I lost the game. Because it's like whenever you remember the game, you lose the game. And then you say it, and then everybody gets pissed because then they all lose the game.
It's kind of like Cheese Touch for Diary of a Wimpy Kid fans out there.
That's what this reminds me
I feel like
of.
you bring up Diary of a Wimpy Kid more often than not.
It's just like, it was a really, really impactful book series and
Truly.
film series on me as a child.
Well, so dictionary.com says the origin of this most modern use of 6-7 is thought to be a song called Doot Doot by Skrilla. So it's
A
from a song.
nonsensical expression connected to a song and a basketball player is what Merriam-Webster is telling me.
Okay. Well,
6-7.
But,
I feel old.
I think it is.
Did I do
Like,
it right?
I feel like we had things that like our parents didn't know what they meant, right? I mean,
Well, we were watching there's a new show on Peacock about John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty decent. And
they say 6-7 in it?
no, they say far out. They're like, hey, your hair's far
Far
out.
out.
Which is like, yeah, it was something like back in the day they
Yeah.
said.
Like you have a big forehead.
No, it was like a
No.
compliment. Like, oh, far out. It's out of this world. It's
Yeah.
so cool. Like
Mhm.
6'7".
Got
you
it,
know,
got it.
so-
Far out.
When I was in high school, one of my friend's dads was like, you know what we used to
Mm.
say all the time? Grody to the max. And I was like, that's an amazing expression.
Grody
So
to the max.
Grody to the max. I used to
early
say that all the
2000s slang included bling,
No.
time.
fashy jewelry, dope,
Yeah.
Dope.
Dope.
fly.
I still use dope.
Fly is a little
Fly.
bit older than
Yeah.
2000.
Fly.
What about I'm so down?
Oh, fat, PHAT.
Oh, fat.
yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
pretty
More
hot and
stylish.
tempting.
That was tricky. That
Yeah.
was really tricky.
Fat.
Greetings and farewells. We had faux shizzle.
Yeah, we did have that.
Yeah.
Oh, shizzle.
Mistakes and understandings. No duh, which means obviously.
Yeah.
No duh.
No duh.
Do you remember Crunk?
Kronk is on here too. Yeah,
Kronk.
Kronk is on here. Wigging out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wig.
Wig.
A burn is an insult.
Ooh, burn.
Sick burn. Yeah. Psych.
Mm.
I said that a couple days ago.
Vanderpump Rules has released their trailer for the new season.
All new cast.
Is the pump guy? Was he on Love Island?
No, he was definitely on Perfect Match. No, is that the
Perfect
Netflix?
match.
Is he this one? We all recognize this
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 He was on Perfect Match.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
It was perfect match.
it was perfect match. Chris, isn't that his name?
Yeah, Chris Hahn.
It feels weird. I hate that they used the likeness of all the past cast to
They
like
had to,
open it
though.
up. Like that's weird. If you're gonna start fresh and reboot, then start fresh and reboot. Like
Mhm.
I got chills from that intro. I was
no,
like,
the intro
"Ah."
was great, but it's because it's our like iconic characters and they're no longer there. So don't
Yeah.
put them in your trailer. And like the new cast, it feels performative. It feels like
We'll
they
see.
know what they need to do.
Yep. And like
They've
the shoes
seen
they
it
need to
before.
Mm-hmm.
They know the script.
Well, maybe
The
this is, I don't know,
beats.
reality TV.
Yeah, that's the
don't
thing. I
know.
don't like you truly can never recreate early VPR because they had no concept of what they were doing. And that's what made it so good. And you just don't get reality TV like that anymore in general because it's such an industry now.
I want to watch it.
I'm
that's
seated
the
for
thing,
the
like,
record.
but-
Yeah.
But you do get that in first season shows. Like
Mhm. The
our
lack
sh-
of
like-
self-awareness.
like our show Age of Attraction, so good.
So good.
This, they've all seen it before. They know what they need to do. So
Mm.
that's why, I don't know. We'll see.
Mm.
We'll definitely take a peek.
Before we get to Shannon Beador and talk about the OC finale, it is time for the Mint Mobile Hot Take Hotline.
We want to hear your scorching hot takes too. That's why we've partnered with Mint Mobile to open a hot takes hotline where you can leave us a voicemail message and give us your reality TV and pop culture takes, and we'll listen and react to them on the show.
All right, let's play the first scorching hot take.
I guess my hot take is I do not like that they have Taylor from the Mormon Wives on as the Bachelorette. I just personally think they could have done so much better than her, and especially now with everything coming out, all this drama online and posts, and I'm just not a fan. I think someone like Victoria Fuller would have been so much better, and I just kind of want to hear with you guys how everything else coming out about Taylor now. Do you guys still think it's going to be a good season? Because I think they can do better. I know they're drowning, but like, come on.
I don't think that's much of a hot take. I think a lot of people actually agree with you. I do think Victoria Fuller would crush as
Absolutely.
Bachelorette.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
not, we did not submit this. I
Wait,
know we
yeah,
are- we
that was
are
not me
friends.
on the phone. I promise you. I do think she would crush. Although I think regardless, it's going to be a good season because I don't think Taylor can be produced. I think who she is who you get. And we love that person on Mormon Wives, and I think she'll be a great bachelorette. I think it'll be a different season than what everyone's used to, and maybe that's what a lot of people are just scared or nervous about. But
I'm excited for Taylor. I mean, I think Victoria would have been great. The stuff that's quote unquote coming out has been out before. I just think a lot of new people who are like OG Bachelor fans and maybe didn't jump on the Mormon Wives, bandwagon early are just, it's like a lot of stuff's kind of being regurgitated. To Nally's point, like the Bachelor franchise leadership is a hot pile of dog shit right now. I mean, it is like they had the scandal like a year ago when it came to the executive producers and a lot of internal drama. They have been like trying, and new showrunners, there's still more drama coming out on the streets, so to speak. The Golden Bachelor, I think, was just
Dumpster
a
fire.
hot, stinking pile
Yeah.
of trash.
Don't forget Bachelor in Paradise.
Golden Bachelorette was good.
Yeah, Joan was good,
Oh,
but
yeah,
then
Joan was
like they should have fired Mel after he put out those statements. The showrunner, I know a lot of people. Maybe they're biased, maybe they have an axe to grind. I don't know, but I've heard some reasonable criticisms that seem to have come to fruition. So we'll see. I'm rooting for Taylor Frankie Paul, and I'm rooting for the Bachelor franchise. But I mean, while Nally says like she can't be produced, they still need to produce the show. And I think a good producer would know how to work with someone like Taylor Frankie Paul. The question is, are they going to lean too much on like the Bachelor like playbook and like not be creative? How are they going to use the star that is Taylor Frankie Paul and marry it with a legacy show? And their ability or inability to do that will define its success. But
I say let her be messy, and then we can always rein it back. But I'm like, try something different. Let her go the distance, and then let's see how like people react to it.
Yeah.
Versus like already being afraid because she's different from any like cookie cutter idea of a bachelorette.
because like we can always dip back into the arsenal, right?
Yeah.
We can always pull Victoria Fuller unless she is married or in a relationship. But we can always find Susie Evans or whoever else from Bachelor Nation. But yeah, let's just see what happens here. And maybe it
also,
reborns.
our caller didn't offer any new ideas. I mean, Victoria Fuller, I guess, was her one idea.
Which is a great idea. I stand by it.
I feel like as someone who's not like locked in Bachelor Nation, I'm actually like really excited to watch Taylor Frankie Paul as The Bachelor. Where
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm like, I watch it because, we talk about it here. But even if I didn't work here, I would be watching this season. You know what I mean? So I'm excited.
Well, this is the second call.
Hey, household. This is Shannon calling from Northeast Michigan. I love listening to the show. I also love watching you guys redo the lake house for Nick's family, and I think that's just really awesome. So enjoy up north. But my hot take is about Love is Blind. I thought it was strange that Anton got kind of the alcoholic take when Annie was blackout drunk every episode. Yeah, I felt bad for, was it Nick she was partnered with? I feel like he wanted to say something about it but was afraid to embarrass her. So, yeah, I think Annie should be taking some heat for that. I think she also had a DUI conviction. So that's my hot take. Thanks.
There are rumors and speculation floating on the internet
saw those,
about Annie.
I agree with this caller.
Yeah, no, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they ever showed Annie like, I feel like we saw more examples of Anton drinking or, like him getting home from work at 6 a.m. and like going to the fridge to open up a beer and like Ali voicing like, hey, that doesn't feel normal, or like, hey, where, like we had the conversations, and yeah, maybe Nick was like a little bit too nervous to have those conversations with Annie. I think the only time we had her talk about like being super drunk was after the like rodeo night where they're eating. He's like, I just want to eat my chalupa or whatever they're eating the Taco Bell. But Ali made it a thing. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. Ali asked him, I guess, beforehand what his lifestyle was like. And Anton led her to believe that he didn't really drink like
he
that.
lived like a clean lifestyle.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, that's why I think it became highlighted. Whereas like Annie, obviously they didn't have a conversation about her drinking or like beforehand because it was just her normal behavior, I guess.
Right.
Thank
you, Shannon. And thank you so much for following the lake house. It's been actually so fun.
All right, I think we got one more hot take before we get to Shannon Storm Beador.
Hi, Team Viall Files. This is Kat. So I have two really quick hot takes. First hot take is that Jordan from Love is Blind needs to be the new Bachelor, because if they're doing this with Frankie Paul, then why can't they pull someone from Love is Blind? And he's like so sweet, so innocent. I think the story about his kids is just, the whole thing. And he's so attractive. Number 2, Joe is my favorite person from this season of Love is Blind. I loved him. I thought he carried the whole show. I thought he was the funniest person. He is a mess, don't get me wrong, but he did carry the show. The rest of the cast sucked. Everyone else was a except for sweet, lovely Jordan. That's going to be his new name. Yeah, those are my hot takes. Thanks for sharing. Bye.
Interesting take. Here's the thing. I can tell you why Taylor Frankie Paul was picked as the Bachelorette, and while Jordan will not be, but there is hope for Jordan. Taylor is part of the Hulu/Disney franchise universe.
Synergy.
And these platforms are becoming more and more like isolated. Natalie and I are part of the Netflix universe now.
People don't want the competition. You know, they don't.
So Jordan will not be considered if for no other reason other than that. Even if he was perfect, but that Netflix is coming out with I think it's Harry Jowsey has his show.
Let's Marry Harry.
But what we've come to learn, I think, is that whether he does or doesn't get married or engaged, is there, you don't make a show unless there's a possibility for a season 2 or 3. But while this is very much like the Netflix is their Bachelor, so they could find a Jordan.
Let's marry
Jordan. Right? So any man in their or woman in their universe that really on these shows, or someone they found. Let's Marry Jess Vestal. They could have their very Bachelor type of shows.
Good idea.
I think that is the Netflix plan.
Or you, Kat, could slide into Jordan's DMs.
Or Joe. Let's marry Joe. Let's marry Joe.
I did. I agree I did love Jordan and Joe a lot. I mean, Joe low key seems evil in a relationship. Not gonna deny that.
It kind of just seems like a putz.
Yeah,
Evil's
I'm just
a little strong.
I was gonna say Joe doesn't have a problem dating though.
If there was anyone that I think at a party I would end up just hanging out with and having a really fun conversation with,
Joe.
It would be Joe. Joe and I would vibe.
He's pretty funny.
I don't think he carried the season though.
Carries a little strong.
I think Sparkle Megan low-key carried the season.
I don't think anyone carried. I think it was evenly distributed.
100%. For sure. Well, if you want the chance to have a hot take included on an upcoming reality recap, all you have to do is call 1-855-MINT-TLK, or if you prefer the numbers, that's 855-646-8855, and leave us a voicemail. Again, just call 1-855-MINT-TLK or 855-646-8855 and leave us a message. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets. With Mint Mobile, you'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/VIALL. That's mintmobile.com/VIALL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/VIALL. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, well, it's time to get into OC. I think we have a rapid recap before we get to Shannon.
Of course we have a rapid recap because Mary works hard.
Oh my God, thank you guys.
Well, if you missed the most recent episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, here is your rapid recap. Gretchen thinks lethargic and cathartic are the same word. Shannon only does mushrooms in Amsterdam. Tamra is willing to be a swinger, but again, only in Amsterdam. Then the women enter a house of horrors, aka a room with photos of themselves. Tamra asked ChatGPT, just like Nick, to make a friendship contract for her and Gretchen. You will never be Cynthia Bailey and Nene Leakes. Heather spreads her dad's ashes into the Amsterdam River. Shannon has her price tag sticking out of her ass. 10 out of 10 iconic no notes. The girls channel their inner Lance Armstrong doing drugs and then riding bikes. Then we finally get to Chekhov's alleged problematic Instagram post. Gina brings it up. Tamra makes it clear that Jesus loves gay people too. Heather Dubrow is seeing red. Shannon cries. Gretchen denies it and says she loves the community, but is also super chill about the whole thing. The girls are like, okay, prove it, bitch, and make her take another car. But they're also like, Gretchen has only been nice to gay people, so this is all really confusing. The girls finally realize Tamra planted this and Gina was the patsy. Tamra just thinks Karma's a bitch. Then it's revealed that Tamra has been leaking info about the season to bloggers and the press. Overall, what is going on in Orange County. Honestly, that was a crazy ending.
And your
And I
coffee's
would
ready.
love that
Yeah.
part.
We have a new intern, everybody. I feel like a really...
Here's Brent.
Oh, I think we should give him a nickname.
Oh my God.
We'll find it.
We have an intern at the Wild Pals. We made him get us coffee. Wild episode.
Crazy.
We got my sound bites that I've been waiting all season for.
I was like, do we want to start light or do we want to start heavy?
I think we go all the way to the end.
I think
Yeah.
there's
really only one discussion.
It's only dark.
Like it's fun, silly fluff, and then you get homophobia.
I was just
allegedly.
going to say I couldn't hang a day with these housewives in
Well, it's either
Amsterdam.
homophobia or using homophobia as a way to try to ruin someone's life and weaponizing that against someone, which
They're both terrible, and I don't like either of them.
And like, I felt like Tamra was really the only like vocal one, to the point where it was like, you're really doing a lot. You know, it felt very like Lisa-esque on the yacht, being like, you know, it was like, you're really like pushing hard against Gretchen here, like really trying to push a narrative.
also, I don't get the whole like, you're too calm, you're too, like, you know, with Lisa, we criticized Lisa because she was too, in Salt Lake City, because she was too
Big,
aggressive, too big, too loud.
Gretchen obviously seemed very caught off guard, is what I'll say.
It wouldn't strike me if Gretchen isn't that tech savvy. So like when you're like, hey, you liked a bunch of things, you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't
like,
even a bunch. It was one post.
Whatever.
To my
No,
there
knowledge.
were
multiple.
There were multiple
Oh, okay.
that were shown.
I'm just saying, if someone like you're like Gretchen's first thought wasn't like, well, that's not possible. She probably doesn't know it can be faked. You know,
She was like, I don't know. I scroll fast and like things. And I have to say, I don't scroll fast or like things, but if River gets a hold of my phone, there is absolutely no telling what I have gotten into.
I do understand that she's reacting too calm, though. Like, I think the conversation should have ended with what Heather was saying, like, not what Tamra was saying, when Heather was like, you do need to defend yourself in this moment. And that's
sure,
where
but
it's
like,
but she could have offered anything but silence, but she was just
got
silent.
there. I mean, she was obviously crying at the end.
She did after, but like at the table,
I
she
think
could have
her
I think
real-
it's just
I
a
think-
real dangerous thing to assume, play judge, jury, and executioner based off of someone's emotional reaction to being called to an accusation.
I think her raw reaction was when she called Slade, and that's exactly what I would have done in that situation. Like, I'm calling Nick. I'm like, these women at the end of the day, they're not my best friends. You know, like I haven't seen or hung out with them that often over the past few years. And she knows Tamra's history. So I feel like, yeah, I'm stepping away. I'm calling my husband, and she like is crying on the phone with her husband, being like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, they're saying this. I don't know what to do. He's obviously reacting in like a, whoa, what the fuck? Like, that's not you. And then we have preview for reunion, which was what Gretchen told me when I saw her at that movie premiere, of like, she has spent thousands of dollars with a cyber analysis team to like uncover where the posts came from.
now,
And
in theory, you could argue that she spent thousands of dollars
to scrub it.
to scrub it, or just to say she spent thousands of dollars. That doesn't necessarily prove.
I will say I've seen articles talking about this from 2 years ago before she was on the show.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with this is that, like, I don't know if I think Gretchen liked these posts or not. I think there's the most likely chance is that, like, it could have been Gretchen was following these accounts. You know what I mean? And that also is a bit troubling, but then also, like, neither
can
here nor
change.
there. Exactly. I followed a Larry David account that, like, turned into, like, an OnlyFans account out of nowhere. So, like, I get it. I think the biggest thing is just, like, Tamra, you sat on this for a year. Like, I don't know why that wasn't immediately, like, all of these, if we knew about it, all of these women knew about it.
Well, and that was my problem
So-
with Tamra throughout the years, is that it's like, again, she constantly is the one that is always bringing up other people's stuff, and we never know anything going on with her. So that's why I can't talk about the Shannon interview, can I?
But Shannon has a lot to say.
Shannon does have a lot to say.
But it's like, even in the beginning of this season with Katie, it's like, who brought all of this stuff about Katie recording Shannon? Tamra. Who's bringing up who got roofied and talking to Kiki Monique? Tamra. It's like none of the other women are bringing this stuff to the forefront. So it's like, why does Tamra constantly feel the need to bring other people's shit to the forefront?
It's just like, I want to see these women fighting over caviar
so dark.
or like,
It
I'm just like,
is.
I'm so
Haven't we learned
sick of
after
it.
RHONY and other shows that like you don't need to go to a level
you
that
don't have to go
reboots
this
the
far.
show.
And then
Yeah.
also to see at the end of the episode that, like, I mean, they're speaking to Darth Vader on the phone, but like being like giving them every single beat of this season. Like, and it was portrayed in a way where
Yeah.
it like definitely came from Tamra's voice of like
yeah.
Tamra and Katie get together and find common ground. You know, it's like
And
Where's that
Tamara's,
coming
and
from?
Tamara's
She took the high road walking out of
yeah,
the
yeah,
party.
yeah. She took the high road walking out. Of,
in Tamara's defense, like the Bravo sleuths will know like every plot of a season before it's even aired. Like you'll find a picture, you'll find someone who's the
Or was
waitress.
it Tamra
that,
the
like,
whole time?
Who knows? But like every franchise that happens, so she gets like 2% of the benefit of the doubt that like this, and then once the blog gets a chance, of course they're gonna be like, it was Sierra,
But my thing is the spinning of the narrative of like, I'm the victim. Gretchen always does this to me for the big reveal to be you're the one that's calling bloggers. You've got Katie kicked off the show essentially because everybody hates her because she's
now
talking
you're best
to bloggers.
friends, like yeah.
And you're the
It's
season
crazy.
vet.
Yeah. For the
Yeah.
record, I did not enjoy Gretchen this season. I do want to make that clear.
I did, and that's why to me I'm like I think I stand by. I think we have.
It sounds like you don't believe Gretchen.
No, I stand by the fact that I think Heather should have had the last say in it. And she kind of said it in the Sprinter van, where she's like, she has a personal stake in this conversation. And the whole time at the dinner, Heather was just like, you do have to prove something, so prove
Mhm.
it. And then Tamra was the one that was like screaming and making a drama. So I
Yeah.
feel like it should
Yeah.
have stopped at Heather. And I think
Mhm.
we have to wait to see like what actually happens.
Final question before we get to Shannon. Like, how much do you guys feel like Bravo has a responsibility here? I mean, like, they chose to go along with this. They chose to like let this play out. Like the fact that like some of these housewives feel the need to do stuff like this, that it's gotten this dark, and that they go along with it. You could have producers being like, guys, what are we? This is not the show. What are we
Yeah.
doing here?
That's a good question, because even when like Anne Marie was on Beverly Hills, we all hear about scenes that were cut
Yeah.
of Anne Marie. So it's like there's
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting question of like, when do you just remove it?
Well, because I mean, Anne Marie, it was the whole thing. It was like
Her
the
husband.
case, the
Yeah.
allegations against her husband, which
Mhm.
like
We're serious.
it's yeah,
Mhm.
it seems
More than-
like if that
They're incredibly serious.
how is that not fair game? But like this is it feel
Well, you
it's
could
like,
argue that like husband versus actual housewife.
are you kidding? These women go after each other's families nonstop. I mean, Meredith Marks, you want to
Yeah.
talk about husbands?
You wanna
I mean,
talk
like
about the husband?
It's
You
an
wanna
interesting
talk
question
about
for
that?
sure. I don't think there's like a yes or no or like a do this or do that.
Yeah. I think what's interesting to me about this is like if these posts are in fact real, right? Which I don't know if they are. Like I really have no idea.
Is it okay to say that like I don't know like how old they are or what? I haven't seen these posts, so I don't know what they are.
They're like,
but,
if you
sh-
look at what allegedly she liked, it's pretty disgusting.
do we care more about like the person and how they actually speak and interact with the queer community? And what if 5 years ago Gretchen did say something or do something incredibly bigoted or insensitive, but since then has educated herself and immersed herself in a community with queer? I mean, what do we care? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I think what I'm trying to like figure out is just like if these posts are real, Bravo would have again. People knew about it. Like as soon as Gretchen got announced, like Sia and I were talking about it. Like we saw that these posts were like whatever, and I didn't know if they were real or not, and that's why I've kind of been like a dick to Gretchen this whole season a bit. But my question is like if they are real, Bravo absolutely knew about it. So if they are real, why are you putting this woman on the show knowing that like Heather has like gay and trans children? Like that's just my question. It just doesn't make sense.
it's a little dark. Also, you do have Bravo out there letting Gretchen speak about her innocence, and they're promoting going into the reunion. Gretchen, like, that might be innocent, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think
Yeah.
I think we should wait and see what she actually has to say. That's why I think like Heather was like, speak. Like give us a chance to like believe that this is fake.
well,
In general, I think it's a weird storyline, and I don't like it very
the
much.
big question is does Gretchen and Tamra both survive this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think they both can survive?
I want to bring back Gretchen. I want to bring back Tamra. Like
All right. Well, either way, we have Shannon Beador up next to give us her thoughts on all things the finale. She has a lot to say. And then we'll have the reunion coming up, 3-part reunion to unpack it all. If you're sleeping hot and sweaty, it's impossible to get a good night's rest. And if your solutions are blasting the AC high all night and doing constant pillow flips, well, then you have to check out Coop Sleep Goods. I just got my new Coop Sleep pillow, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's a perfect pillow. I mean, it's really incredible. You can adjust the firmness to your preferences, which I love. It's always cool. You know, they always say the cooler than the other side of the pillow. Well, now finally, both sides of your pillow are constantly cool. It's got the perfect amount of memory foam. It's just like I'm very particular about my pillows. I don't like them when they're really too flat or too stiff. The Coop pillow is perfect just for you. Coop's cooling collection has been a game changer for hot sleepers or for staying cool during the warm months. It features breathable, temperature-regulating materials designed to wick away heat and moisture so you can stay comfy and cool all night long. Perfect for those who wake up sweaty or toss and turn to try to find the cool side of the pillow. But definitely prefer being cold, and having the Coop Sleep Pillow has been a game changer. Get a free pillow consultation with their sleep expert to optimize your sleep. You also get a 100-night free trial, so you can try it for 100 nights, and if you're not totally obsessed with it, send it back. No problem. But you know you're going to love it. I know you're going to love it, and you will not regret it. So if you are looking to upgrade your pillow today, look no further than Coop Sleep Goods. With over 100,000 five-star reviews and over 1 million happy sleepers, add or remove fill from the pillow to create the loft that supports your body's unique natural neck and spinal alignment. Every pillow comes with an extra half-pound bag of 100% freshly manufactured cross-cut memory foam and microfiber fill. So you can take some out, you can add some in, customize it just for your preferences. Natalie and I are both obsessed with it. We absolutely love our Coop Sleep Good pillow. Everyone in their life knows someone who's not getting the best possible sleep. We'll give them a Coop Sleep pillow and they will love you for it. It's a unique, thoughtful gift your family and friends will appreciate. Upgrade your sleep. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/VIALL to get 20% off your first order. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/VIALL. Shannon, welcome back.
Hola.
So good to be with you.
How are
You brighten my day when I see you.
Okay. All right.
Aw.
Thank you.
You do. You have
You're
a
very kind.
you have a spirit about you that I enjoy.
Well,
You're
thank
fun.
you.
You're funny.
And I think I was here right before Halloween last year.
You
Yes.
were,
Did a
'cause
little-
we did
we
that.
did a
We did
little
the witches
we-
promo.
Halloween
yeah.
spoof.
It is our
Mhm.
yeah. It's a happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations to another banger season.
Well, thank you. It wasn't a lot about me, which I was quite grateful for.
Yeah, I guess in the best possible way.
Yes.
We obviously have a 3-part reunion,
Yes.
which I'm very excited about. But we have a lot to unpack about the season itself.
Okay.
But like, how are you feeling? Like, let's just catch up with Shannon first. Like, outside of OC, how's your heart? How are you?
It's good. It's good. And, I say this often, but I've always kind of defined my life in the relationship that I'm in. And I did try a little bit of a relationship on the Love Hotel, which was a disaster. So,
Yes.
and,
Are we okay? I just want to check because.
oh, yeah, yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. But I'm just direct, but I did text you right away, but it wasn't mean.
No.
It was just honest.
It seems like you guys have agreed to just be coexist.
It's
so
done.
it's done.
It's done.
So specifically, Love Hotel. There was a there for a moment.
Well, I didn't. It was a dating show, but I wasn't really a part of a dating show because I was with one person
Okay.
the whole time. And I know that when I watch certain dating shows, I want people to work out. So I really tried after the show was done to maintain my relationship, and it just didn't work.
Okay.
So I basically been single since then because I'll be honest with you, watching it back, I made myself vulnerable and I was mad at myself that I did. So I don't
You were
want
mad that you made yourself vulnerable?
Well, it's just because I got hurt, because as I was watching the show 6 months later, I remember that I really did care about this person at the beginning. And so I don't want to get hurt. But I'm good being single. I did just come back from New York where I did go on 4 dates with somebody.
Oh my
Ooh.
god. With one person.
She's like Flex.
Oh my God.
Did you get some?
No, I need a connection in order to take that next step. I'm very
Okay.
old school.
You didn't find a connection after 4 dates?
No, there's definitely a connection. There's definitely a
Okay.
connection. But, he lives in New York and he's I don't know.
You're
We'll
in the
have to see.
process of connecting.
He's yeah. I'm not going to use any. He's very private.
Did we make out at least?
Well, there might have been some. Okay,
Good.
Oh,
Just a
good for
little.
you.
Let's go.
Let's go. Did you get another dog, by the way?
And I did get another dog.
How's Archie handling that?
He loves it.
Oh.
But it's a lot of work. And the rescue said he was between 2 and 3. He's really 1.
No.
Mm.
So there's a lot of training still necessary. But they're both happy. So it's all good.
4 dates is kind of exciting.
Well, I was there for 9 days. So it was like half the time.
Every other day. That I don't know.
That's consistent.
Yeah.
No, it was just he's a very kind man and like with a big heart, and that's for me. That's probably the most important thing that I'm looking for. So,
And we're still talking.
I texted yesterday that I'm home.
Yeah. Okay. I got home. Did he get a I got home safe text?
Well, he said, "Let me know that you're home," and I said, "I'm
Yeah.
home."
Okay.
And he said, "Glad to know you're home safe."
That's nice.
Sounds like a gentleman.
There's a there. Yeah.
You should send him a nude today.
Okay. Oh, you're funny.
Just
You're silly.
you know.
Well, see, I'm having fun right now, and
Good.
whether I find someone in my life or not, I'll be good either way. But I want the partner. We don't really talk about what I do or my work. He doesn't know. We walked out onto the sidewalk one day, and someone said, "Is that Shannon Beador?" And he was just overwhelmed by it. He's like, "Wow, they were really nice to you, and who are you?" kind of thing. So
That's what happened with us. I told her I podcasted. I was believing in my show before anyone else was.
What a complete opposite from John Jansen, housewife fucker, to a now someone who's like, I don't even know what that is.
yeah. Well, this person is a private person, but he really is a private person, unlike others that put that
Right.
label on.
May I ask? I mean, you can tell me to shut the fuck
Yeah.
up at any point when it comes to this part of your life.
Oh.
But what does he do?
You can say shut the fuck up.
You can say shut the
Nothing.
fuck up. He doesn't do it. Okay.
I don't think I don't think
Independently
much.
successful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Love that.
He doesn't do much because he doesn't have to anymore.
Right, I think that's what I
right.
think. But yeah, we didn't even really get into that too because I just want to get to know the person
How'd you guys meet?
through a mutual friend.
Okay.
Best
Yeah.
way.
hmm
All right. We love
So
that.
I mean, it's just 4 dates, and okay,
No, but it's fun.
yeah, it's fine.
4 dates in 9 days, and like in Gen Z terms, is basically
Okay, we're getting married.
yeah.
That is a pretty heavy commitment.
That's
Yeah.
so. How is it? I mean, you weren't obviously a focal point. Obviously, last season was very well. I don't know. Last season is looking back. I mean, you did have a lot of support.
Oh, I did, and I'm beyond grateful for it. I mean, I think I said to you last year, I didn't even want to come back on the show. I was so nervous because I thought that I wasn't going to be able to crawl out of the hole I dug for myself. And I take full responsibility for putting myself in all of the situation that I was in last year. But it was tough.
Okay.
And it was especially tough to watch back because I remembered how I was emotionally. I just kept focusing on getting through it. So
Who, now that the season has wrapped, you guys are obviously done filming the reunion. Obviously, we'll have to shoot it. But where do you feel like your closest relationships lie with your cast at this moment?
well, I'm going to say that I'm close to pretty much most of the cast, minus one.
Tamra.
Yes.
Okay.
So and that's a really nice place for me to be. I mean, I can remember so many seasons. I start out with 0 friends, so
Okay.
it's quite nice. And I pretty much kept in touch with everyone.
We're Katie fans. And we couldn't help but notice that Katie hasn't really been on the show. And obviously I would be upset if someone filmed me, to be clear. But you were done with Katie. Where do you stand with Katie today?
I'm as a housewife, I'm gonna say never.
Okay.
We did have some looks with each other at the reunion because it's a doozy. But I haven't spoke to her, and I think that what I didn't make clear, number one, I immediately apologized for me overacting. What happened was I felt very, very violated, and because of the explanation of what happened is not accurate. It's not true at all. Nobody knew that I was upset that day. I did my job. Nothing was delayed. But the false story out there is frustrating for me. But I was very close to Katie when it happened. We had just come back from London 4 days earlier, and I had left that trip early. I was spent and very down at that time. And so to know that happened 4 days after, she was giving me basically an enema in London.
Mm-hmm.
So
Be pretty close to
It's
death.
personal. Yeah, it's personal.
She's standing outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's trust. Yeah.
It is. So that's why I felt so hurt. So we'll see what happens. There was just a lot of inconsistencies. And by the way, not one of us, to my knowledge, said, I'm not filming with her. It was like the next time we film, where's Katie? She's not here. It was not.
Oh, interesting.
This was no concerted group, let's ban her at all.
There was no turret discussion of banning Katie.
So,
No.
as far as you can tell, you didn't talk to any producers or
No.
collaborate with your cast members.
Absolutely. And you can see at the beach party, I say, is Katie coming? And someone says, no, she's not coming. And I say,
Okay.
oh,
So, why do you think she was put on pause, quite literally?
well, I think that's because if you really look at the stories that were told, none of them add up. And it just kept growing and growing and growing.
What's your opinion on what you think Katie needs to do, if anything, to get back into three-part question, your good graces, the rest of the women, and be welcome back next season?
Well, I think number one, and I know it might sound corny, but is to tell the truth. She did take accountability, which is part two, take accountability. For me, she took accountability, saying, yes, I did record you, but her whole explanation of what happened, none of it is truth-based.
Remind me in the audience, like what is the truth that you think is the truth and what you need to hear from Katie?
I just think that she needs to say, I dug a hole for myself and I didn't know how to get out of it. So then I just created more untruths.
Can you remind us of the specific? I mean, truly, I kind of forgot what it was because I know she's talking to bloggers, inviting them to her wedding, and there's the relationships. But what specifically is the thing that bothers you the most of what you want her to come clean about?
Well, I just think that for all of my castmates to, and I myself had dinners with her where she would say, I know this information about this person. And I would say, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to. And she did it for each person. And that's hurtful. And I don't like to, I'm the kind of friend, and you and I texted about this, that when someone says, well, she hasn't done anything to me, so I don't have a problem with her. When I see someone do something unkind to someone I care about, I'm diving in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Nothing I find more irritating than when people say, when they get offended by you questioning their loyalty to you or how close you are as friends, and then simultaneously get mad at you for having an expectation of them because they don't want to distance themselves from someone who they say didn't do anything to them, is the most horseshit thing someone can say.
Welcome to reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
And to my reply is like, hey, now I know where we stand. We're friendly. We're civil, but you're not my friend, I can't count on you. We're not ride or dies. You're not my, I'm not going to be, if I called you my best friend, I'm not calling you that anymore.
Right. Yeah. I spent some time with Katie, off camera. We started out the season with her reaching out to Jen and I saying, let's do something for the fires in Los Angeles. And so I really helped. I got the restaurant. They donated the food. We did this very small neighborhood type fundraiser, but I was very instrumental in, helping throw it together. And we did spend time together. And I really enjoyed her company. We always had a good time. That's why I just was so shocked about certain things. And then the stories change. It just as an example. Gretchen told me that she was drugged and went to the hospital. Then it turned into Gretchen got a toxicology report at the hospital, which, by the way, had that happened, Gretchen would have run to anyone in the press to show them that years ago. But and then it turned into Sheena Shea was the one that brought all this up. And it turns into ridiculousness.
So do you know the truth at all?
Do I? I mean, I do believe that all of us, when we have a microphone strapped to our back, we misspeak all the time. I was there when Gretchen heard that Katie had said this story that she claimed she'd been roofied, and I was in shock. And Gretchen was blindsided by it. And she was just very confused. And I get processing that. Look, I said to Bronwyn Burke once when I was mad at her, don't accuse me of things that I do. Well, I meant to say don't do. I forgot the word. So I could see that Gretchen said I should have gone, that she meant to say I should have gone to the hospital because she felt so sick. I believe Gretchen in that because I was just in New York last week and I had a long chat with Kiki Monique and she was sitting right there. So I don't think Andy Cohen is going to employ someone who doesn't tell the truth on his radio station. Kiki Monique it does a reality check with Dorinda Medley. So there you
Yeah,
go.
that's true.
And do you believe that Katie never showed Alexis the recording?
Well, the reason why I don't is because Heather Dubrow said that she called Alexis, and Alexis said, "Yes, I heard it." So I don't know. So I would believe Alexis over Katie. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just what I was told. It doesn't matter either way. I mean, the fact is that she did it, and I felt violated because I was really down at that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm assuming that she does apologize to you at some point. Do you?
Well, she tried to, but I sat down with her after we went to the Golden Door, and I tried to help. And I said, if you're going to truly apologize, no apology, but don't say but. So she did apologize to me for recording me, but there were buts.
Yeah,
there were buts. It was my first season. Okay, none of us recorded each other in our first season, and.
Well, it also kind of seems like you're similarly having not an issue, but like with Jen, for example, because she's been pretty close friends with you from the start of the season, from last season. And then we have you throwing her this beautiful bridal shower. And then the conversation between her and Emily, where she was acting as if it was ridiculous. Like, how did you feel about that?
It did hurt my feelings because just be honest with me. But at the same time, I think it was a little bit taken over the top by some of our cast members saying, why are we even going to this thing? We're on a reality show. Why did we go to a cake decorating party when Tamra had just done this to our table? But we did. We showed up. So, I wanted to do a garden lunch in a beautiful spot in Corona del Mar. And I thought, well, let's do a little party for my friend.
Did you think that Gina was like a little bit out of line asking that, or she was just like stoned?
Well, she
or on
said, and then she
shrooms
said,
or whatever.
Travis and I moved back in together. That's something that we should celebrate.
Congrats,
I'm sorry.
girl.
Season 20.
I was say, are you planning a party for her next season?
Yeah.
It was a little out of pocket for Gina to say that, but I definitely feel like Jen was way more in the wrong.
Right. But Gina said, Jen, you said this was ridiculous. Jen did not use the word ridiculous. She just said that she feels uncomfortable with that kind of stuff.
Watching that back, because it's what's so fascinating about the show is like most of the time, we all, like when we leave a room, there's always listen, the mental healthy thing to do is to not give a fuck what anyone's saying about you when you're not there. The self-indulgent psychotic thing that many of us do is being like, I wonder, what are they saying about me when I leave a room? And you ladies, unfortunately for us, have the benefit of finding out sometimes what people are saying about you guys or, when you leave the room. And why did Jen feel the need to say anything other than thank you?
I don't know. Well, she said that before the shower. So that's number one. But no, that's the worst part of the show for me. I know what I filmed. I do not know what everyone else is filming. And that's why it's hard to watch the show because my feelings still get hurt,
Yeah.
I don't Gina's really good with we're on a show, just let it roll off. Not so much with me. But it did hurt my feelings and we talked through it, and I think that's the sign of a good friendship as well.
So what's your opinion on the amount of time Tamra and Katie are spending together right now?
I just feel that with Tamra, there's just a lot of pre-calculated type of things.
It's a good move.
This is me getting a little bit nasty, but let's look at 3 of the kind of dark, dramatic moments of the season. Shannon was videotaped without her knowledge. Gretchen is telling people that she was roofied. And 3, Gretchen is, liking this sort of text string. Who is the one that brought each one of those topics to the show? And let's not forget that she knew about all of them for quite some time. She held them in her back pocket. And she was the one that got to decide the timing. Let's make it peace with Gretchen. Let's make up on a swing high up in the air, because in 2 nights we're gonna expose a text string that may or may not be authentic.
Interesting. Well, let's dive into that because obviously season 19 ended with a lot of, it was a very cliffhanger ending. I imagine we're going to get to the bottom of it during the reunion. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's a very unique reunion.
Yeah. We talked about it last week's episode of Reality Recap, and that we live in a time on the internet, especially with AI, that you have to be very discerning. about what you see, and certainly liking someone or comments or things like that. It can be very damaging depending on what those comments and likes look like. But again, I think you have to be careful jumping to conclusions.
Right.
I think most people nowadays, like, on the finale, was it the finale? Where Tamra's like, well, there's comments too. I think it was Gina who was like, well, maybe, likes can be manufactured. And it's just like, oh, comments was Tamra's response. And I think the average person is kind of like, yeah, how do you fake that?
That is when she had a private conversation with Gina. That never came up with us, that there were comments.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So, a lot of times, maybe when you tell the truth, it's just really easy to keep track of it all.
It's consistent.
Because it's the truth.
Yeah.
You don't have to think of, whoa, could I have said that before? But the bottom line is, when we all saw just the first post of this horrible post that said,
and you're aware of what these posts are.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we were just all shown one in a string. It was shocking, and we all did react because I'm not thinking, oh, AI. I'm flipping 61. I don't think about tech stuff. I'm just thinking this is absolutely horrible.
Trust your eyes.
Yes, and you can see as a cast, we were all really upset about it, and to the point where ride home alone. But what doesn't make sense is that Gretchen is a kind person, and while she does have her issues with Tamra, she was nothing but kind and didn't have any issues with any of the other cast. So we all did go back to our room, try and find the text.
On a scale of 1 to like really problematic and just because I think Aaron said something I haven't seen, or I try not to go on the blogs or be careful about rumors, but I think it was Gina who said something about like she just can't see Gretchen like hate campaign. Like how hateful were these alleged?
They were horrible, and they didn't show it. But I remember just being blindsided and in shock myself. And I kept leaning over to Jen, who was sitting next to me, saying, her life is over. I mean, there's arguing on a reality show, and then there's going for life-damaging topics. And if this comes out and is actually true, I mean, this is she's canceled, or, however you want to term it. Like, she's done. And I think we all were, it just didn't make sense. And in the finale, Heather, Jen say this doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up. This isn't Gretchen.
So you're telling us that we should be cautious before we're jumping to conclusions to believe what is being alleged.
Well, a lot of this will come out at the reunion, and Gretchen does not deny following some of these accounts. She followed quite a few accounts, and I think that it's opened up all of our eyes. We all went back into our Instagram to say, okay, who are we following, and who really are these people? Because you'll see like a topic. She's very faith-based, and this is what she's told us, that I could see like a nice religious post, and so I'll follow, but maybe not knowing who they are.
There's some validity to that. I mean, hell, I used to post shirtless Bob Ross paintings and roller skating videos, and now it's all podcasting and dad content. Like, people change their,
People evolved.
like the pages can evolve. You can follow something, not pay attention to it. People and pages do get radicalized.
Yeah.
So it's.
I followed a Larry David Curb Your Enthusiasm page that ended up posting like OnlyFans content out of nowhere. So like things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is.
Okay. I mean, that's what she told all of us.
Okay.
But as far as
sense.
But then she's very calm too. A lot of people were saying, she should have been more upset about all of this. I think everyone processes being blindsided a different way. I don't know how I would have reacted. I probably would have been a little bit more angry, but she was just, you can kind of tell by her facial expressions, she's just trying to figure it all out.
Wow. So I didn't know what these messages or these things were, but I honestly didn't know. I wasn't expecting you to tell us to be careful what to believe.
No, it's horrible, disturbing hate rhetoric against the LGBTQ plus community.
So if we're not supposed to believe them, I guess is this being manufactured? Is it like
we all said to Gretchen, like at the very end, this is your responsibility. She says to Heather. Heather says, prove it to me that you didn't do this. I think I say it to her as well. Emily says it to her. Figure it out. I said to her, figure it out.
Do you think
So you might see some things at the reunion
Okay.
come out.
All right.
Do you think someone else will be held accountable within your group?
You know, you always walk away from a reunion and it's just a blur. So I can't answer that question. I really can't.
Just thinking out loud, if they're not real, if Gretchen is able to successfully prove that these were manufactured by someone.
Yeah, someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cast member. It's just by someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
If it is a cast member,
I mean that's a big thing.
that would, yeah,
That would be pretty
That's
not good.
it would be as bad as if
reality Vanties.
that'd be worse than that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
Because
falsely accusing someone
someone
that
of,
could
like-
ruin
Ruin their
Okay.
life.
Ruin their
Like,
life.
really
Yeah.
ruin their life. And by the way, this season has been tough. But on
We'll
a
find
few
out.
on a few cast members, like there are a lot of very, very opinionated viewers. So they will reach out and send very nasty, very threatening DMs to a lot of our castmates, putting very, very horrible labels on them and threatening. So it's been a very different season. So look, we all went back to our rooms and said, this is not the Gretchen that we know. This doesn't make sense. And topics will be discussed at the reunion related to this string of posts, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
They're called.
Did Alexis and John get married?
Yeah, they did.
Did Jen go?
No, she did not. But she did text. Jen did text Alexis saying good luck today, and then Alexis called her and invited her to come on the day of. But
On
Jen
the
was
day
busy. Jen was busy.
Going back to the Gretchen of it all. Sorry. If it does, for whatever reason, we come to find that they are authentic and that Gretchen, these likes are real and these potential comments are real, where do you go from here with Gretchen?
I mean, that's it. I think that you can see how all of us would feel because you see it happen in real time.
Okay.
You know, it's just there's none of us have any space.
It would be hard going forward.
Absolutely. I think I say in the finale, like most of my friends are from the LGBT plus community. So I can't, be close to someone that would do that. But again, you'll have to watch at the reunion and see, is Gretchen capable of doing this?
Do you want Katie back next year?
Well, I don't know. It's not my decision.
Well, I'm glad you said that because first I wanted to ask that
Yeah.
question, but then I have a
No.
follow-up question, and let's just play a game. Do you
Okay,
like games?
yeah,
I like
yeah.
games. Let's say it was, and let's say you have not just Shannon the person, but you're the producer, and so I want you to and a fan because I watch this as a fan too. Like I'm not just I understand as the human being you have to preserve like your mental health, and you're like I don't want to fuck with this person. It's like, but like if you had to wear all the hats of from the fans' point of view, from a producer standpoint, obviously you as a cast member, you should consider yourself. It's only fair. Do you cast? Is she good overall for the show, regardless of how you might feel about her
Right.
personally?
So I remember in my very first season, I wasn't getting along with Tamra and Heather. And the showrunner called me and said, we're going on an all-cast trip. So you're going to film with Tamra and Heather. And you got to get yourself on that trip because it wouldn't be believable that I would go. And so we did come to amends and they were actually genuine. But I would have a very similar conversation with Katie saying, how do you see yourself being able to integrate back into the group? And what are your intentions to try and get there?
What would you cast her?
Well, it would depend on the answer. If she were to say, I'm steadfast and I'm sticking to every single thing that I've said, I would say, well, that's not going to work.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be. If Katie just is, I have nothing else to say than anything I've ever said, and this is all I'm going to say. Then I guess there's maybe no point. There needs to be some arc.
No, I mean, what is your plan? If you come back, what is your plan, Katie?
Okay.
Same question, but about Tamra.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so I would say,
If you were
would
a
I cast-
producer,
would I
would you
cast
cast Tamra?
You know what? I've said this many, many times. I can be angry at someone, but I would never want to interfere with anyone's livelihood. So I never say, oh, this person should be fired or I want them fired. It's just not good energy.
Would you want to bring Vicky Gunvalson back?
Always.
Always.
Yes, always.
Why
love Vicky.
and why hasn't
Well,
that happened?
I don't know, but Nick, I mean, come on. She was on your show and she's like in Puerto Vallarta and she's like complaining about it, like she's doing her a favor. And like, that's just Vicky. It's classic.
It's
Which
amazing.
I
It's
mean, I
amazing.
don't.
Loved it.
I know a lot of people think
Yeah.
I do, but I don't take myself that seriously. It was one of my favorite interviews.
I
She's
can imagine. She's
off
a kick
her
in the
rocker.
pants. Kick in the
You know,
pants.
like,
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
yeah.
Love her. So she's just silly and fun. And, I have some silly moments that you see, but there were a lot more that you didn't. And that's what I enjoy, like being goofy and silly. And I mean, not purposefully, by the way, but just keeping it light and
Mhm.
fun.
Would you ever do wife swap housewife edition?
Oh.
With a single person.
Yeah, well, you mean there's not single other parents. We only have to give
Yeah.
love to
Oh,
the.
sure. Of course I would.
You know,
Bring
Yeah,
the
of
daughters
course I
in
would.
town.
Mm-hmm.
it could be with the kids.
Yeah. No, of course I would.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on Slade?
Okay, you know what? I have to tell you, for all the people that have mocked him and criticized him over the years,
Which we have.
he and Gretchen have been together for 16 years. They have a beautiful daughter, and they are really, really happy. And there have been a few things, like I've been getting some prank calls recently, and I texted Jen and Gretchen because Jen got them too. So I'm concerned by where I live, and I'll keep it at that. And like Slade said, let me come over there. I'm 10 minutes away. We can go to the police station and file a report. I'll take you. That's very kind.
Mhm.
You know,
But,
he's been nothing but kind.
That's
to
a
me.
that's a good point. I mean, listen, like we only know I only know him through this show, so I'm at the mercy of what I'm being shown.
But through the show years ago, okay, you see him a little bit this
The
time.
flashbacks and yeah, but my lasting memory of Slade is him doing stand-up comedy and body shaming the
Right.
cast. So I'm
Mhm.
not like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's mostly predicated on that. But you make an interesting point, and maybe I'm biased, but I do think when you look at a couple like Gretchen and Slade
Mhm.
and you see what they've built together,
Mhm.
that says something about people. You know,
Right.
your ability to I would say the same thing about Tamra too. You know, again, like I respect people who can seemingly have a long relationship, make it work, and have a family, and like whether it's with kids, but like how people are with their community does say something about who they are. You know,
Right. And I mean, 16 years. I was married for 17. Like they're right up there. And
yeah. That's not to say if you get divorced, you should be
Of course,
questioned, but
no,
it's
of
just more
course.
to
but they are happy. And like Gretchen says that they're even in a better space than they were at the beginning. So I'm happy for them.
that takes a certain level of
Mhm.
of character and understanding and humility.
Did you feel like that was his place to share the voice memo or talking about the Tamra in the studio with the
Recording.
boy
I mean,
band
yeah,
recording?
that I wasn't there. So that was a lot. But again, I remember Tamra telling me that story when I started the show. I mean, it was in the press.
Mm.
That it happened?
The quote allegations. Yeah, there were some stories in the press about it.
Okay.
So it's not like Slade was bringing it up for the first time. And let's just look, if the tables were turned, would Tamra have brought it up? She said that Jen had an affair with another person before Ryan, which is very damaging. And
Oh,
when she
yeah,
was
she did
confronted
say
with that, Tamra said, "Oh, I was mad at you."
She did say that. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Man, you guys do a lot. I'm just like, oh yeah, that all happened. Yeah.
I get mad when I hear some of these mean things that Tamra does because I really enjoy this aspect of the job and get to meet you and I always get mad or sad when I have people on that I know it's like I'm gonna piss off Shannon.
Oh no, it's
I know it's different. I know.
No, I'm
You're
good. I'm
pretty
good with it. It's part of the deal. But I think when you go for that jugular,
Yeah.
you can criticize people, make light fun, but when it gets to character damaging issues, that's when it's
tough.
maybe too much.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions for Shannon before we send her on her way?
Earlier, you were kind of saying that Tamra holds on to pieces of information to then release it when it's an opportune moment.
Correct.
It kind of felt like in the beginning of this season that she told about Katie recording and Katie's drama, that she kind of started the drama between all of you and Katie.
Right.
So then with it coming back towards the end with her now being friends with Katie, is this because, do we think we were trying to put the heat on Katie to take it off of Tamra, or like once the women started coming against Tamra, she kind of flip-flopped?
I mean, I think that a lot of the times with Tamra, there's deflection. For instance, at the lie detector test, let's just not forget that none of us had seen Tamra since she'd quit the first time out of the 3. And she walked right back in, walked into the lie detector thing. And when Katie failed all her questions, you didn't see this scene. Tamra was right there going, "You're a liar." And I remember looking over at her thinking, wow, this is a gift for you. You don't really have to address the fact that you quit because everyone's talking about that Katie just failed the lie detector test. And in fact, Tamra said to Katie, "You are dead to me." And it's interesting that they're close today.
Then Katie was also the one that put out the information about Gretchen or
Right.
the possible roofie. So I'm just
Right.
kind of wondering if Katie might be taking a lot of hits here where I'm like, we're trusting what Tamra says, but not what Katie says.
I mean, that's a very good theory, isn't it?
Katie kind of came out and said that the man who was running the lie detector test is kind of known for doing
He's a bit of
these types of
fraudster.
things
He's
a little bit, and he kind of is like, "Oh yeah, you pay me extra and I'll give you the results that you want." Do you believe that
Oh.
Emily and Gretchen would do that kind of thing to Katie?
Oh no. I don't think that Gretchen had any idea that there was going to be a lie detector test at all, but Emily did. But again, there aren't that many lie detector people that are going to go on camera. So I think that was just, although I have no idea, I'm not in production, but they set it up. I have to tell you, I was scared shitless. Oh, that's what Tamra said when she was there. "Oh, Shannon." No, it's just, I'm wacky a little. I have dreams sometimes, nightmares like, "You're a liar. I'm not a liar." And they say, "Lock her up." It's just, it's been a nightmare in my life. So I was very worried. Yeah, I didn't know what they were going to ask, but then he was funny with me.
Okay. Before we let you go, going into the reunion,
Mhm.
which is this coming Thursday, part 1, what do you want fans to just, sometimes when we watch things on reality TV, you
Right.
don't control the edit. Some things we're not fully paying attention. Is there anything that you would say, hey, when you watch this, I want you to consider X, Y, or Z. Don't forget blank or blank.
Wait, with me or with the whole show?
Just anything you think that we should be discerning about and just make sure we don't forget something so that if something is shown in a certain way.
Well, there's a couple.
Okay.
First of all, when it comes to me, Shannon Beador, I would say if you're watching an interview confessional and you're hearing Katie or Tamra describe what happened or what's going on in my head, Tamra hasn't known what's going on here for a few years. So not a reliable source. As far as the show goes, we've talked about the finale. It's just a really dark topic. So, just everyone, before you react like we should have done, take a breath and just step back and say, does this all make sense?
Okay.
And, the other thing is, somebody quit 3 times. Are we going to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it?
Do you want to?
Well, I'm just, each time it was like, you'll never see me again. Well, I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow. And, and there you'd see her,
Sure
the
enough.
next event. But we never got like the explanation. I don't know.
Did you know that Tamra had taken a Xanax at that dinner in Louisiana?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. She clearly
Mhm.
had more than 2 drinks because and those were with me. But the two drinks, half a Xanax thing. Yeah. Not
Did
so
you
accurate.
recognize that when she came into your room?
Yes, and I said, because I said, wait, what is
Yeah.
in your glass? And she said water, but it was yellow. It wasn't.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't think that she had taken a pill, but the girls thought she had. I just thought she was very, very drunk.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I mean, now am I going to get in trouble?
Why?
It's my opinion.
Oh, how are
Uh,
you? How are you feeling post? I mean, obviously this was a really long time ago, shooting wise, but post your space cake.
Well, in the finale, I don't know if you remember, but I might have dabbled in something called a medicinal mushroom.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I maybe when in Amsterdam, I'll
Yeah.
take another space muffin bite.
Shannon, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe let's just make this a regular annual
Yes,
thing.
the Halloweenish time.
Okay. Anything you want to plug?
No.
Okay. Well, if you haven't heard, we're pet parents for our dogs, Jeff and Steve. And we know all pet parents out there love their dogs like we love ours. And you always want to make sure they're taken care of. And thanks to the help with the ASPCA, our pets are in good health. And that's why we have a quick message from today's sponsor, the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. You know your pet is part of the family, and you'd pretty much do anything for them, right? But those vet bills, yeah, they can really add up quicker than you would think. And that's why it's worth checking out the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. Pet Health Insurance can help manage the vet bills so you can focus on what really matters, making sure your pets get the care they need when they need it. Oh, and here's a little bonus. There's a perk for enrolling.
When you enroll in an ASPCA pet health insurance plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. The program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier to get your pet the care they may need. It's been around for almost 20 years and has covered nearly 1 million pets in that time. You can tailor your plan to fit your budget, your lifestyle, and your pet's particular quirks because big vet bills never show up when it's convenient, do they?
To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. That is aspcapetinsurance.com/VIALL. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. All right, well, that's Shannon's Beador for you.
I love her.
Iconic.
She's so funny.
She's so
She
funny.
is so iconic.
You guys
She's
should
just
go
like-
to Shannon's Instagram and look at that promo we did with her.
Oh.
It's really fun.
The promo is so good.
It's-
Nobody
physical
was hurt
comedy is-
in the making of that promo.
Well,
Nobody would.
But my chin.
Yeah,
And
she
her
did.
head.
She did bop Justin's
She does
Did
have
she?
a concussion,
Yeah.
but I think she's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say clearly Team Gretchen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Shannon. Yeah.
Was very vocal about like reunion gives a lot of clarity,
Uh-huh.
which interesting.
And I think it's a very touchy subject for all these women
Mhm.
because of obviously the context and I this is not anything I'm hearing from Shannon. This was just my interpretation, but I think obviously Shannon wants to be very sensitive to the conversation in the queer community, and I think she was nervous about how does she before the reunion say anything that sounds like she is defending Gretchen.
Yeah.
Out of fear that people would find that to be insensitive but I think the big thing is let's just wait and see because a lot is supposed to be revealed
Mm-hmm.
at the reunion. All right, it's time to get to some Love is Blind. We have Ali and Anton up next, but before we do, I think we have a Love is Blind rapid recap.
If you missed the reunion of the Real Housewives of Love is Blind, here's your rapid recap. I don't know. Miles Smith sings as the cast from season 9 walks down the steps. Jordan is in a tux, and Anton looks like he accidentally wandered in on his way to the dentist. It's official. We were wrong, and the U.S. Sun was right. Megan is a mom to a 2.5-month-old baby boy named Brooks. The other girls say that's why she was looking thick, which is one way to congratulate someone on new motherhood, I guess. Apparently, Megan and Mike went on a few dates after the pods, but it didn't work out, and Jordan finally clarifies the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Thank God. Casey swears that all she wanted to do was protect Patrick, but she also won't give him the ring back. Patrick gives Casey the floor to apologize, and after some buffering, she finally does and gives Patrick the ring back. But not for long because they play a game of basketball where she wins it back. Casey may not have found love in the pods, but she is now qualified as a walk-on for the WNBA. There it is, Mayor. And maybe Casey is keeping the ring for Joe because turns out they dated after the show. Or if you ask Madison during the show, ? Eskimo sisters. Kate very briefly dated Brendan after the pods, but then Casey and Brendan were all over each other at a party. Casey, girl. We finally get to the bottom of why Ali and Anton flopped, pun intended, and KB and Edmund clear the air. It's Jordan's birthday and his present is Blake and protein ice cream. And that's a wrap on season 9. Good job, Leia.
I found myself, I feel like Joe was
Mhm.
kind of a villain throughout the season,
Yeah.
as was Casey. And I found myself, I felt like Madison and Patrick really didn't land their plane, so to speak. I felt like they both came out ready to dominate and really wanted to get the sympathy of the audience. And it really felt flat for me on both fronts.
It was really weird.
Yeah, I think it's like with Joe, like I don't even like Joe definitely came off as the villain just because it was like you shouldn't have been engaged to her. You obviously weren't that into her. And I feel he panicked and I feel really bad for Madison in that. Like Madison got fucked over, but I don't think Joe is like an evil, despicable human being. And then with like Casey and Patrick, I'm just like, there's too much going on. Again, you guys should have just never
But
gotten
like,
engaged.
Madison
Also,
really clearly wanted to. The truth is, Joe got asked a question about their physical appearance, and he gave an answer. Whether he should have or not, he did. And I don't think it's a crime to have a preference. It's insensitive it was. But like, I just think it's a little heavy for Madison to really just like blame him for all her like mental health problems because of that comment.
I think it was absolutely insane that we spent so much time on Casey and Patrick, and they weren't even a couple on the
Yeah.
show. Like, that was way too much time over two people I, at the end of the day, don't really care about, and about a ring that I also don't care about that truly does belong to production at this point. The fact that, like, Vanessa made them stand up and give that ring back to each other was the craziest waste of 5 minutes of my time. Chris Paul, does he not have anything else to do? Why is he there? He didn't have a game or practice or anything he
At
could have
least
been
he's
doing.
not going to illegal poker games. I'm
That's
just saying.
true.
Like he's
Good for
staying
him.
out of trouble.
Yeah. I don't understand why the Love is Blind reunion like is going to have a musical guest and a basketball performer. Basketball performer.
Why was it outside? Everyone's hair was glowing.
People
it's
like
getting
that
in
though.
lip
I saw
gloss.
when they released the trailer, everybody was like, "Oh, finally we have like a actual reunion." But then it was like,
what did it make it actual?
Yeah, what?
How-
A studio.
that's what I thought. Because then I was like, so
Yeah,
they're in like the
studio.
Enchanted Forest. I was like, that's cute. Like
Maybe to mix it up. I didn't really have a problem with it.
they are getting blasted by wind though. I did notice that.
I mean, like Megan's trying to talk about having her baby and she can't get the hair out of her face. It's like
Mhm.
we could have.
She looks like
feel
Meredith
like
Marks
that-
on that beach.
And all of those lanterns were swaying. It kept me. I was
going to say the
was
creative
focused on
directors
us.
of the Love is Blind reunion were also
Mhm.
on the Amsterdam trip taking the shrooms and we're like, you know what? Let's
we
do
should
musical
be
guests.
outside. Also, speaking of musical guests, if we're going to have a musical guest and you're going to pan to the audience during musical guests, teach everyone the words. I mean, it's like give them a script, give them the lyrics, let
Right.
people learn the song before he comes out. But you're panning to people who are like saying the wrong words,
Right.
and it just doesn't. It's not.
Or fake it like
translating.
America's Got Talent, where you like patch in someone else that's like swaying, or
Yeah.
like fake it so it looks like a reaction.
Yeah, they would not they would sashay away if they were lip syncing for their life is what would happen. Also, Miles Smith weirdly was at the if you guys watched the Steelers game in Ireland, he was the musical performer there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's
Anyway.
phenomenal, but it was
He's
just kind
great.
of like, what a waste of his talent.
I know.
Back to Patrick in the ring. When
Yes.
he's like, it's not about the money. Like,
What money?
You didn't
Is
but
he
like,
planning
what's
on
it
pawning?
about then? It's a year and a half later.
He kept saying
What is-
principal, though.
That really,
You
he
think I
lost me
deserve
on
it?
that.
Principal.
He should have just been like, no, honestly, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I just like.
And he should have been like him being like, I'm doing this for you. I'm giving you a moment to apologize
Yeah.
for so that people can stop hating on you.
That
I'm
is
giving
crazy.
you this.
that was a crazy. He really lost me.
No,
Yeah.
he was putting the
Lost me,
words in
guys.
her mouth. I just need you to say, I'm sorry, Patrick, and she was like, don't tell me how to apologize. And it's true. Like, it was just like, this is really you giving her your moment, huh?
There was a TikTok. It was Anton and Joe joking about drinking. Did you guys see this? And then it was
Mm-mm.
Patrick also in the TikTok. And I was like, why? Okay. I was like, you're kind of losing the narrative for me here.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it felt like all of the women were going after Casey. You know, I think Madison and Kate. Also, Kate. Why was she was a mainstay the whole time? and
Kate's with
she-
all the friends, every photo op, every
Yeah,
event.
I
I think she's just
mean-
part of the group.
She's
Yeah.
part of the group.
I'm not a huge Casey fan, but I do like she was messy as fuck in those pods, which is fun. And afterwards, obviously. But yeah, I'm just like Madison. And I really like Madison, but I'm just like, girl, you and Joe obviously were not going to work out. Like you chose a guy that was obviously a little bit of a slut and like it didn't work out. And
It seemed that Madison was still hurt over
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
breakup. And that came across like very obvious to me. It wasn't like, oh, I've grown. I'm a bigger person. I don't give a fuck. You weren't for me. Like that was not the energy she was giving. The energy was very much like, I'm still grieving this marriage.
And it's
or
been a year.
Which is
engagement.
crazy.
Which is crazy.
Hmm.
I didn't think she still was. I felt like she was performing her grief.
Well, don't you
Mhm.
have to lean in anyways? Like, this is
A
like
little
a
bit,
they
year
were trying to
later.
make a
Yeah.
reunion.
You got to
They
make
were
a
trying to
show,
make a
I
reunion.
And like,
guess.
she just Oscar.
Perfect match.
Yeah, I felt
Too
like
hot to handle.
Anton was giving a
A little
little
underdressed.
Definitely underdressed.
The way
for
he was
sure.
he was also just like
Yeah, he felt so chill. It felt like
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess, his girlfriend was there. So maybe he like wasn't, trying to like
It's tough. A year and a half later, it's like,
perform.
why do I even care? Like
Yeah.
he moved on with his life,
Which I think is the right take to have after a year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but if everyone is chill and moved on with their life, then like, what are they going to talk
I'll
about?
just never be on, I will never be like, oh, makes sense for someone to be like, yeah, I work a night shift. I come home, I eat breakfast, I watch a little TV, and I maybe open a beer. That strain of events I will never be on board with. It's like I worked the night shift before.
Breakfast
You
and
go to
beer?
bed.
Yeah.
You just go straight to bed and then you wake up at 3 p.m. and then you go about your day. You don't watch TV after and drink a beer after your night shift.
That's not the TV part. It's the beer part.
It was all the chain of events. I get home, I make breakfast, I watch TV, and I open a beer.
Yeah, it's a whole event.
It's that's your whole day.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. You've been working all night.
Isn't he Russian though?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They drink.
They drink. They be drinking.
It was weird that she never brought up the conversation with the girlfriend in the bathroom, Ali, to
I just think she
Anton.
knew she was done. And even for her to say that the biggest ick
Well,
for
now we
him
can ask.
was hip. Oh,
That's true. We can definitely ask her. Oh, she's here. Well, great. Let's actually, you know what? Let's just ask Ali why she never
had that
had
conversation.
that conversation.
There we
And
go.
also, like, I understand the flip flop thing.
The biggest ick being flip flops. I feel it too.
I don't understand what was wrong with his walk. Did he have a weird walk?
Anton?
When he came out, she said flip flops in Baja, but
No, Nick was like, maybe someone else will appreciate his walk. It was weird. I was like, does he walk? Does he walk with a
let them
limp?
cutting
or
something out.
What's happening?
A little
How does he?
Nick just
slumpy.
throwing a jab.
He doesn't glide.
I don't remember being like phased by his walk at all.
Well, we do. It sounds like we have a lot of questions for Allie, and I think she is ready. She's here. She's ready to join, and let's bring her on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
So good.
So good. How are you?
Good. I was in the wrong link apparently, so sorry about that.
okay.
That's
glad
all right.
we
Not
got
your
you
fault.
here.
You're here now. That's what's important.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, let's get right into it. We just watched the reunion. How did you feel about the reunion? What did you
Going
love? What did you
into
hate?
it and leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, going into it, I was honestly so excited because I didn't really feel like the cut throughout the show was very reflective of like me as a person. And so going into the reunion, I was like, yes, this is my chance. I get to really put everything out there. And then unfortunately, we were the last ones to actually talk during the filming. And so timing was very limited. A lot of it was like cut short. And then for the final cut, even things that I said didn't even make it. And so I was like, what the heck? Like, when do I get to share my side of things?
Right
Well,
now.
Allie, right now.
Absolutely, right now.
We don't edit
yeah,
here,
so-
so you got as long as you want.
well, with that said, like what are the things that you said at the reunion or wanted to say that didn't make air that you're hoping that people get a chance to hear from you?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Let me pull out my list.
Yes.
Pull it out.
We love someone's notes.
sister.
Oh hell
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's tough to know where to start because honestly, like there was just so much, right? Like starting with the pods, none of our story was really aired. You didn't get to hear any of like our serious conversations, our talk about like what we wanted our family unit to look like, what our roles would be, children, finances, like everything. Everything was discussed in the pods, and you got like, oh, Ali fell in love in 2 minutes. And so that just wasn't really like a good representation. And then obviously going into Baja, there was so many scenes in there where like I thought they were so cute. We had such a romantic dinner, like beachside. None of that got aired. We're feeding each other strawberries. So just like lots of cute little moments between us that like didn't make it and didn't really show like our story as a couple. And then obviously a lot more going into like reality too.
Do you feel like had they had shown maybe more of your conversations about lifestyle and family values and like what you want your future to look like, it would have made a little bit more sense as to like why we saw some of the disagreements and conversations that we did see later on?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Anton and I very much agreed on him being the provider. I think something that adds a lot of context, honestly, is just the fact that, we did have those conversations. And then also my work week was a 3-day, 12-hour days kind of situation as a nurse at that point. And so, you know, the whole not cooking, not cleaning, that whole situation was like, yeah, during my 3 days where I'm exhausted and trying to just like make it through my shifts, doesn't mean I don't pick up after myself in general or like don't clean ever. Like I cook very healthy meals and like I like to keep things simple, but you know, I do cook at home. And so that would have added a whole lot of context. But yeah.
I guess getting into, because I think one of the like only conversations we saw between you and Anton at reunion was the like, why didn't you discuss the conversation you had with his friend's girlfriend in the bathroom? Like, why did you never have that conversation with Anton? I think your answer at reunion was that you just like had kind of a lot going on. You don't really remember exactly why you didn't bring it up. And to Anton's response, he was like, we sat at the bar and like had a drink and you kind of like refused to talk about it. Do you remember that specifically at all?
I do remember us sitting at the bar. I think it was a situation where it was, I don't want to talk about it at all. It was definitely like, we're out with your friends. Let's just enjoy their company. Let's get to know each other better, and get to know your friends and, you know, just have fun is what the theme of that day after filming ended was. And then I do think because of, you know, so many things going on, it just, I just didn't bring it up. And like now looking back, I'm like, how did I not talk about it? But I do know that like myself, I am avoidant. And so being avoidant doesn't really help the situation where a lot of times it takes me more time to process things to be able to be ready to talk about it. And so that was really the situation at dinner. And then I'm sure something like that after as well.
Can we talk about it now?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Of course.
Yeah. What did you guys talk about in the bathroom?
I think you pretty much heard the whole bathroom conversation.
Okay.
You know, in the pods, Anton and I talked about how both of us grew up pretty religious. We kind of stepped away from religion for a little while. And then in, you know, the recent year had come back to it. So that was actually something that we really connected on, was growing our religion together and wanting to do that. And so obviously somebody's past, like we all have a past, right? My concern was with it being like a recent thing and us having shared our religion, how that wasn't really something that like, you know, he talked about. And I had to hear that from somebody else. And then, you know, the drinking conversation came up later too. And that was the general theme of our conversations, was like not really talking about it fully, but more so like defensiveness when anything did get brought up. So it was hard.
Was that friend conversation that the first moment where you thought, Anton might not be as upfront about how much he drinks, or there's a disconnect with what my perception of his drinking is versus the reality of it? Or was there a different time where you kind of had a oh no moment?
I think the first time that I started realizing that maybe I don't know the extent of Anton was actually in Baja. And I did talk about this at the reunion, not the specific thing on its own, but he had a vape the whole time in the pods. And I was like, how did you get a vape? Like, we weren't meant to have anything on us. And I don't remember if we discussed like vaping or smoking specifically, because we had, you know, so many hours of conversation. But at this romantic dinner that I mentioned, we were, you know, in front of like these beautiful rocks and like the sun was setting. It was such a great dinner. And here he is just like ripping his vape the whole time. And production was like, Anton, put your vape away, like, or we're going to take it. And so I kind of started to get a little bit of like distaste in that sense, where it was like, what else is there that I may not know that is like a daily habit for you?
Was it a tiny little vape, or was it one of those big smoky things?
No, it was like the full machine.
He
That's
had the
crazy.
Oh, not
In
even a
2025,
pebble.
2024 had the full machine.
Is he going like to a hookah bar?
That's
he
crazy.
does go to hookah bars. I think he did share that with me.
Okay.
Which like I enjoy hookah bar every once in a while. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But I did not realize the extent of the vape use until like that dinner. I was like, oh my gosh.
A lot of people watching the show picked up on when you guys had the reveal and you meet each other for the first time in person. I'm sure that's just a whirlwind and you kind of probably black out, but maybe you did notice. But we all noticed that instead of looking back at you, he poured himself another glass of champagne. When did you first realize that? Was that watching it back or in real time?
I didn't really think of it much in real time, but you do see a hint of like, I'm like, hello? Like I was literally standing there waiting for him to turn around, and he didn't. And I knew he liked his champagne, and like that's fine. To me in that moment, it wasn't an issue, like because like you said, it is a whirlwind. Like there's so much going on. As much as like we have been around cameras prior, that reveal is really like a intense camera situation. There's cameras freaking flying. There's a whole lot more staff or like production in the background than we ever had before. So it is like, oh my gosh. But one of the other things too is like he did propose. People think he didn't propose, but he did get down and like give me the ring.
Okay. And that was the ring that he bought or Netflix gave to him? Because I know y'all had a little conversation about that once you got to Baja as well. And he made it seem like he bought it.
Yeah. That Baja conversation, or I guess to address the ring first, that was a Netflix ring. He did not add any of his own money. I don't believe any of the men added their own money to the ring.
Because they have the option, right?
They do have the option. I don't know that anybody goes in like expecting, to add more. I definitely wouldn't have expected him to add more to the ring at that point. And context like on that ring conversation where I'm like 5, like it should have been at least 10. Obviously this was a free ring, right? So like we did have a conversation prior to that little Baja convo where it was like, let's update your ring in the future. Let's get you something nicer. I want you to love your ring. And I'm like, absolutely. I want to love my ring too. And so as far as like the ring conversation goes, the private chef conversation goes, the Botox conversation, like all of those were so lighthearted. And I think that's really something that people are missing, is that like none of these were really serious things. It was just honestly on my end trying to make him comfortable and trying to keep things fun and light because he had a hard time just being himself around me. And that's where a lot of these silly, goofy little convos, including like the makeup, when we were sitting in those chairs asking to put makeup on him, that was just me like, hey, like we're here, like we're together, just talk to me, like we're just having fun. It's not that serious. Because a lot of times I felt like it was almost impossible to really like get a conversation out of him in person.
I was just going to ask, like, when did you realize, was it in real time as we were watching you, realize he was drinking a lot of the alcohol that you had at home? Or did you come across that like earlier?
There was just like little blips of conversations about it prior. But in that moment where we are filming and I'm like, where did it actually go is where I was like, this needs to be discussed. A lot of our conversations that were more, I guess, emotional were off camera and we chose to keep it a little bit more private. And that is a regret that I have because it would have added so much more context to our story if those would have been on camera.
What were some of those conversations?
Just normal things like finances and moving to Florida together and kids and everything as far as like expectations or how we act together as a couple in a group setting, everything along those lines as well.
Some of his family members had some very harsh things to say about you following the wedding that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Has he addressed that at all, apologized, or offered any context as to why that was said?
No.
Okay.
So this is another thing that is really highly upsetting. The comment from whoever that female was, I have no idea. I never met her as somebody that was like part of his life, so I don't know her to that extent. So that itself doesn't really have a lot of weight to me. What I was hurt by as far as like the altar is we didn't have a conversation after. And so after I said no, and like explain myself, Anton said, that's fair. And that didn't make the cut. And I feel like that would have added a lot of like understanding because he did agree with me when I expressed my side of things to him. So saying like, that's fair would have made like the world of a difference to the context of like our relationship and his understanding and his role.
I know that obviously as they're filming the show, there's definitely like a mantra of like, just kind of stay open, be open, get to the end, so to speak. That being said, as from the human side or the reality side, you start getting a feeling of which direction you're going to go one way or the other. Do you remember the specific moment? And I'm sure you stayed open to maybe things changing, but when was that moment where you were like, I don't think I can, I'm probably don't think I'm going to be able to marry this guy?
Yeah. the actual flip-flop moment in Baja. Not that. That was something that was cut out of the reunion where I was like, lightheartedly, the flip-flops, and like we're on such good terms. It was such a lighthearted joke. And then I went into like the real reasons that I ended up deciding to say no. We did have a conversation, I would say probably like 3-4 days prior to the wedding where it was like, hey, just so you're aware, like, I don't know if I see myself being able to get there with you. And that's when I would really just lay things out so openly to him. And I was like, you haven't been yourself. I feel like I can't talk to you. You don't greet me when you come home. Like just so many things. And I discussed like how he eats junk food all the time, or at least the time did, wasn't super like healthy and active, and drinking beers after coming home from work and like ruining your sleep like every night, essentially. It was very much minimized, the amount of drinking. It wasn't 1 or 2 beers, and it wasn't 1 or 2 nights a week. It was more than that. And that's why it was a concern.
Yeah, it's interesting because like obviously people have different perspective of how much a lot or a little is. But to your point, he was clearly defensive. Like if it's not an issue, if it's normal to him, then be like, yeah, I drank half the tequila, like,
Yeah, well, I was sad.
No, I drank all 12 beers and the tequila.
And I had my friend over.
What's the big deal?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like we got that tequila like at the airport on the way back from Baja. And that gathering wasn't that far into like our reality. So that tequila bottle was meant for us. And I'm like, I didn't get any tequila. Like, I want some tequila. And like I said to my mom, even like on the day of the wedding, I was like, I drink. I think drinking is fine. I think drinking's great in social situations. It makes me more comfortable. Like, I love to have a drink or like a glass of wine to go to sleep. Like every once in a while. It's not like a daily thing. And I think it should be mostly limited to like social settings. But that's really where the concern came from.
At the reunion, when the strip club conversation was brought up, Anton's response was, have I been to a strip club before? Yes, I think most men have, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Felt a little, I was like, speak for yourself, first of all.
Like, I definitely got dragged there for a bachelor party once and felt weird.
Yeah. I got dragged there on the illusion that Jack Harlow was there one night here in Denver. Jack Harlow was not there,
Perfect.
sadly. But I just had such like a weird, like heavy feeling around me when I was there. I hated the experience. Will literally never step foot in one ever again. And yeah, like speak for yourself. I don't think most men have. I know, especially like most religious men don't go or have never been. And that's something that like I made very clear, like that's an expectation from a partner. Like, and if that's not you, great, it's not you. But that's my thoughts on it.
I think there's a huge difference from I've been to a strip club as a guy or I go to a strip club every once in a while.
And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, to defend the semi-regular appearances is like, I mean, I guess, again, to each their own.
choice.
I do not want
To each
to,
their own.
yuck someone's yum.
Switching gears off of you for a little bit, did it feel as much of a pile on Casey as it was watching it?
Yes. The booing was intense for Casey, and that's why, I mean, I'm not close to Casey by any means. We've hung out a few times here and there, but I felt that I needed to step in and defend her a little bit because of how uncomfortable it was. I truly did feel for her. I think there were some inaccuracies that were shared by some of the other cast members, but that's not mine to talk about, so.
What did you learn about yourself through this process?
What have I learned? Oh my gosh. I think honestly, just learning that like what I want as for a partner isn't what everybody else is going to agree with, and that's okay. But just being comfortable in like what my standards are and like sticking by them, honestly.
Love is definitely not blind for me. Have you realized that it's not blind for you?
No, I do think love is blind. Like, I not even BSing at all. Like, my reveal, that was the moment that I was truly like, holy shit, like this actually could be my husband. And I was so excited. We get like a day in between the reveal and then going to Baja. And I was like, let me go buy all this stuff to like look good for him. Let me like go restock, I guess, like all my beauty products. And so I was so excited. And then it was just very quickly, like one thing after another kind of added to me, like becoming less and less in love with him.
It is totally okay, I think, to immediately break up with any guy wearing flip-flops. Just so you know. I think
I'm
it's a
getting
fire.
so much heat for that, especially because they're like Brazilian men wear flip-flops all the time.
I
and
don't
I'm
care.
like, that's great. I'm not looking to date a Brazilian man, I guess.
You're on a
Visors,
beach.
vests, and flip-flops.
In short.
Shorts, I wouldn't.
Questionable. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think shorts are okay. Flip-flops and visors I would agree on for
Yeah.
sure.
Staying in the kind of nitpicky, being a little silly petty department, were you a little alarmed or frustrated that he was wearing his glasses on top of his head during the reveal and squinting? Because I felt like the glasses really made him, like, really framed out his face and was like a really great look at him. And I don't know why he was like, glasses on top of a man's head is just such a weird.
They don't belong there.
It's like an
They
ick.
don't.
It's
Yeah.
an ick.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even notice them. I can't say that I thought about it. Like,
Okay.
I saw his hair was huge. His hair was like 2 meters above his head, but I was like, hey, he has a great head of hair. I love that for
He does
him.
have a great head of
He does
hair.
have a great head of hair.
Yeah.
Have you
Oh, go
started
ahead.
filming Perfect Match yet?
Or Too Hot to Handle.
Or Too Hot to Handle? Or Let's Marry Harry? I feel like you are his type to a T.
Oh my gosh. No comment on any of that.
Okay.
But I'm sure there are some exciting things coming. And
Love.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
have it.
Love.
We're sure there's exciting
We
things
are sure
coming.
that there are excited things.
Okay.
We do have a fan edit that Justin, part of our team, Sweet Boy Justin, he made for you because
Oh
he
my gosh.
felt like
I felt
you
moved
deserved
by
it.
you at the altar at 1 a.m. in the morning.
So we want to show it to you.
Okay, I love that. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
That's such a cute song, but like such a sad edit.
You have a fan in Justin.
I am your fan. I love you.
Thanks, Justin. I'm your fan too.
Any more questions for Allie before we let her go? Oh, I do. I'm sorry. I have one. Speaking of like exciting things happening for you, you
Yeah.
were. I don't know if this is part of why, but you were kind of like oddly cryptic about your relationship status on the reunion,
Yeah.
and was wondering if there's a reason why. Is it because you may or may not be ending up on TV again, or are you because it makes it sound like you are in a relationship when
And
you,
like he doesn't want to be public.
yeah.
Yeah. Let me be careful how I talk around this, but people gave me a lot of backlash because they were like, you went on a freaking dating show and now you want your dating life to be private. And yes, like I do. I chose to share that part of my life openly on TV. And that was a year and a half ago. So obviously a lot of time for things to develop since then. But yeah, I think it's really just kind of trying to guard my privacy as much as I can for the time being. And then, if there is something to announce in the future, I'll announce it when me and a potential partner are ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Mary has one more question for you.
I do. I'm just like really enamored by the way you pretty cry. And I was just wondering if you had any advice to the girlies on how to pretty cry like that.
Botox.
Thank you very much, Diva.
Allie, I appreciate your time. If you're ever in LA, stop in the studio so you can take one of our Polaroids that we have all our guests do and make some
easy.
content. But other than that, good luck. Maybe we'll see you back on the Netflix screen sooner than later. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your time. Stay offline. Don't read the comments. And
Thank you guys so much.
thanks for joining.
Thank you, Allie.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
I'm a fan. I think
Yeah,
she's sweet.
yeah,
I
she
think
seems
she's
really
cute.
I want to
Sweet.
see her on my TV again.
She
Yeah.
definitely, listen, she
I think-
got the vapid, superficial edit,
Yeah, she
she's
got the short
pretty
end of
girl.
the stick. She got the we don't have enough time to portray this entire story, so
Yeah.
here's snippets, and that would
And when you're willing to tell like snarky jokes about Botox and kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
being superficial,
they're
they're,
gonna.
they're always going to use that against you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Always.
Justice for my girl.
truly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have Anton up next.
All
I
right.
am curious about
His
what
take.
is the appropriate amount of strip club attendance.
and
Yeah.
why were his glasses on his head? Did he not want to see her
yeah,
until he
because
got
those
up close?
glasses look great on
Is he
him.
nearsighted or farsighted?
Do you think a flip flop is a shoe or a beach only accessory?
We have been on the go, and let me tell you, it has been an absolute game-changing lifesaver to have Little Spoon at our house stocked in the freezer for River, because anytime you get off a flight, the last thing you want to do is go to the grocery store, do a big haul of things to figure out what to feed your kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner. and Little Spoon has it covered. They deliver real food for your babies, toddlers, and big kids straight to your door, so mealtime actually feels easy. At our house, the big hit lately is the grass-fed beef meatball bitables. River thinks it's basically meatballs with mini mac and cheese. I love that it's loaded with hidden veggies like butternut squash and carrots. I didn't have to peel, chop, or beg anyone to take a bite, and we both win. The recipes are made with pediatricians, packed with hidden veggies, and somehow River still asks for seconds. Everything is made with real ingredients, no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or dyes. It's a rare combo of convenient and healthy.
Little Spoon is the first baby and toddler food company to set strict, publicly available standards for heavy metals, pesticides, and more in their food for peace of mind.
Oh, and there's another exciting part. Little Spoon is now in Target. So on your next diaper run and obviously candle sniff, you can grab baby and kid snacks, pouches, yogurt smoothies, and bars. Plus, Target has an exclusive frozen line. Think their cult favorite chicken nuggets, meatballs, and sliders. Find them in the snack and freezer aisles. We are obsessed. Little Spoon is the mealtime hack parents can't stop talking about. Try their no-prep, nutrition-packed meals and snacks for babies, toddlers, and big kids. Get 50% off your first online order at littlespoon.com/VIALL with code VIALL at checkout. That's LITTLESPOON.com/VIALL. Don't forget to use our show's code for 50% off your first order.
Anton, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
First question, did you get contacts?
I did.
You did? Wow. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Was that, what prompted you to do that after all these years?
Well, I had contacts before, right? And I would kind of go back and forth between the glasses and the contacts. But I think after the show, I really just leaned into the contacts full time. So
For what it counts, if it matters, I thought that you looked great on the glasses. You know,
oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Whenever I did have them on, I mean, it's like I had them on my head most of the time, I feel like.
Well, yeah, we did notice that, and we thought it was a little weird. Were you like insecure about the glasses, or like why do that?
Yeah, it's so just watching the show back, I kind of realized that, yeah, I mean, I was insecure about it a lot of the time, and it's been an insecurity of mine, and I just kind of had them up on my head a lot of the times because I don't need them to see up close, but I need them to see kind of like further away. So.
Gotcha. Well, I thought the glasses looked great.
Well, that's so interesting that you need them to see further away. And at your reveal, you didn't have them on, but you were like squinting to see Ali. Why didn't you just wear the glasses?
I know. I looked at that and I'm like, fuck, I look like an idiot.
At least you can laugh at
Didn't do
yourself.
myself any favors with that, yeah, but you know what? Whatever.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know, obviously, this show was filmed a long time ago, so it's. I want to acknowledge that because are you still in a relationship with your lovely girlfriend that we got to see at the reunion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
She's great. We've been together for a year now.
Awesome.
And,
Congrats.
yeah, she's everything I was looking for.
Well, I appreciate you still joining us because I know sometimes it could be a little weird being in a relationship and still being asked questions about an old relationship. But either way, here we are.
No,
Yeah.
she's been great about it. She's been really supportive and understanding and like just kind of helping me kind of deal with all this too. So
out of curiosity, how
incredible.
did you broach that subject with her when you first met her, ending filming, knowing that the show's still going to come out a long time from now, like a year plus? How did you broach that topic?
Also being like, we can't post photos together.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's so I mean, I kind of led with it. I wasn't trying to be secretive or anything about it. I told her, hey, like this is a thing. It's going to come out in like a little over a year. And, I just wanted her to know that that's going to come out at some point, and I didn't want her to be blindsided by it. So I was like, hey, I understand if you would like your privacy and wouldn't want to have anything to do with me because of that. Totally understandable. But this is something that's going to come out at some point. So, and she was like, okay, well, I mean, she was open to it, and she was like, okay, like, I don't know how I'm going to go about it, but I like you and I want to be there with you. And, she was supportive of it. Okay.
First question, how many times do you go to the strip club and what is normal?
So how many times do I go to the strip club now, or how many times did I go to the strip club when I was single?
Both, I guess.
Both, yeah.
So when I was single, I would just go with like for my friends' birthdays or for like bachelor parties or whatever,
Okay.
things like that. I would go maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Whereas now, I mean, I think when you're in a relationship, I think you have to be just kind of like cognizant of your partner, and
Okay.
if that bothers them, then you should probably not go.
Well,
So
thanks for
I
clarifying.
think I've only been
yeah,
once
yeah.
in the last since the show came out. I think I've only been once,
Okay.
and that was for a friend's bachelor party.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying. It almost came across as if it was like every other Friday.
For the buffet.
You're getting the T-bone
Yeah,
steak.
no.
$10.95.
I would be broke if that was the case.
Okay.
That is true.
A big part of the storyline, or your storyline, like centered around your drinking and what, the disconnect of you and Ali and what you thought was normal and what she felt was normal. We did have a chance to talk with Ali, and we kind of agreed that, like, regardless of what's normal or not normal, what felt a little funny on your part, and maybe you could add context that we didn't get to see, is that you came across as kind of defensive when the topics came out, like specifically the tequila bottle and things like that. So now that we have you, and we know things are edited or things can be taken out of context, I just want to hear like your point of view about that entire like storyline, and how did you feel about watching it back?
Yeah, I mean, watching it back, I definitely felt like from the edits, it seemed as though I was drinking almost in every scene, which I mean, I wasn't, because there was a couple of scenes that got cut out that I wasn't drinking in, and nobody was really drinking in. And so looking back at it, yeah, I mean, I put out a video on my Instagram about this. I kind of addressed it a little bit, and I was drinking more than I normally do, and I think it was due to just me being like really nervous and being anxious, and using that as a coping mechanism, which I think a lot of people do on reality TV. Not to say that it's good or it's normal or healthy, it's not. But looking back at it, I think that's what it was. And to put some context on the tequila bottle going missing, looking back at that, I mean, this was almost 2 years ago, right? So I think in that moment right there, we had just gotten back from filming at the rodeo. And so we were both drinking at the rodeo. We both had some drinks, and I genuinely, I kind of had an idea. I was like, I don't think the bottle's going to be in that fridge, but I was like, let me check, but it seemed as though like she wouldn't really be concerned. She wasn't really ever concerned about me drinking unless we were filming. And it was like one of those moments where it's like, ha, I gotcha, that kind of thing. And so in that moment right there, I didn't really think the bottle was going to be in there, but I was like, let me check. I don't really remember if I finished it or not, or if we finished it. Cause I mean, you got to think, right? Like, she was drinking as well. And it's like in every scene that I'm drinking, she's also drinking too. So it wasn't like she doesn't drink. She does drink too. And so, like I said, I was never trashed. I was never drunk. I was kind of drinking more than I normally do, but it's probably not good, probably not a good thing that, that bottle wasn't in there in that fridge.
Ali mentioned at reunion, and also when we spoke with her, that you would kind of come home and like not greet her. You wouldn't say hello. Do you remember that? And like, do you know why, or is that not how you remember it?
It's not how I remembered it at all, right? So when we were back in Denver filming, we would film about 3, maybe 4 days out of the week, and then the other days we weren't filming. So on the days that we were filming, I would come home. So I was still working full time, and I work nights, 12-hour shifts. So I would come home after a 12-hour shift, and it was like I would greet her, but I wouldn't have like usually any kind of like intense conversations or deep, meaningful conversations. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm getting home. I want to relax a little bit, eat, and go to bed, that kind of thing. And she worked nights too, but she would have different days off than I would. So it kind of overlapped that way. But a lot of the time when we were filming, it just happened to be on days that I worked a 12, 13-hour shift. And it was a lot, it was a lot to deal with.
She kind of had a few what she claimed to be like lighthearted jokes, maybe about the botox or about the private chef, and then they were kind of edited in a way that made her look a certain way. Do you remember them being lighthearted jokes in the morning and you were surprised by how it was edited and watching it back, or the other way around?
I wasn't really surprised by that. I think it was I think the financial differences definitely played a large part in in her decision, because we had conversations off camera, that were about, okay, well, where are we going to live? How are we going to move in together? How is that going to look? How's, and so for her, I think the financial aspect of it was definitely, I mean, I don't know that it was like the deciding factor, but I think it was like part of it was lighthearted, but I think there's some truth to to any jokes that she did make about that. I think there was some truth to it.
Going into the wedding, did you feel like Ali was on the fence? Like, what prompted you to say yes? And, were you surprised by her ultimate decision to say no?
There was actually a conversation that took place about a week before the weddings. This was in Denver. This was after a day that we were, like, after we wrapped up filming, the cameras went away and we were filming, like I said, about every other day. And there were signs that she was going to say no. So she actually, on the days that we were not filming, she did not want to stay with me at the apartment. She wanted to go back to her place and kind of stay there and not really spend much time with me, which I thought was strange. Like, if you're really on the fence trying to decide whether you're going to get married to this person, you should kind of try to spend as much time as you can with them. And she didn't seem to want to do that. And about a week before the weddings, we had a conversation, which was kind of just like a off-camera, real conversation. Like, hey, are we going to get married? Is this going to be a yes or no or what? And it was a really genuine kind of upfront conversation. And so she basically said that at that time, she didn't see how she could get to a yes. She didn't see any way of her getting to a yes. And I said, well, the fuck are we doing here then? Let's just end this right here, right now. I don't want to waste my time, your time, the producer's time. What's the point, right? What's the point of dragging this out and, getting our families involved and all that? And she said that she basically just wanted to get to the altar. She wanted to kind of see that through. And, in her words, was to honor the experiment all the way. And she said maybe there's some way she could get to a yes. She just doesn't know how. But that was kind of how that ended. And it kind of left me feeling confused, right? Like, it left me feeling like, are her intentions real? Does she really want to get married to me? Or does she just want to drag it out to the altar and get as much screen time as possible? That's kind of something I was thinking about. And I don't know if that's the case or not. I'm not saying it is, but it definitely made me think that a little bit.
After she walked away, there was a clip of someone in your life calling her a cold-hearted bitch. Who was that person to you?
That's my really good friend's fiance, who they're actually getting married in January. So happy for them. Shout out Colin and Brittany. But she's a great gal. She flew in from Florida. She had no idea what was going on. She was completely clueless to everything. And I think she just, I mean, did I feel that way? No. Do I feel the way that she felt? No. But I think she is, knowing her, she's just a very blunt, like, to the point kind of person. And I guess that's how she was feeling. So I thought that was kind of a crazy thing to to include in there in the end on the producer's part. But
yeah.
Pulling away from you for a second, do you think Joe is getting a bad rap on this show, or do you think he is getting a fair at it?
I mean, I wasn't in that relationship. I don't know what, like, as you guys know, there's so much more that happens off camera. So I don't know. I will say that I'm friends with Madison. I'm really close with Madison. I'm friends with Joe as well. They just both have very different expectations and very different goals. And I think that a lot of that caught up to them in Mexico and caught up to them back in Denver. But I think Madison's a really great person. I think Joe's a really good guy. I think that they just weren't for each other.
Who do you hang out with the most?
I hang out with Madison. I hang out with Patrick, Mike. Those are kind of my guys. Joe's really cool as well. Hang out with him every once in a while. It's kind of my pod squad right there.
Okay.
Shelby as well, but she wasn't really shown.
Ali mentioned a date that y'all had where it was like a very romantic dinner, and she mentioned how she was kind of caught off guard with how much you were vaping. Do you have like any response to that?
Yeah, I was vaping a lot. She vaped too, but I was definitely vaping a lot more than her. And hey, you know what? I put down the vape. I don't vape anymore at all.
Wow.
So
Good job.
And it was like it wasn't like a Juul, it was like a big guy, or
no, it was a Juul.
oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever run into Allie or meet up with Allie or hang out with Allie at all following the wedding?
I think we've ran into each other once coincidentally, and but we don't have any kind of relationship. We don't really talk or anything. I know when the show came out, I kind of shot her a text saying, hey, like, hope you're doing good. Hope everything's, gonna work out for you. Just checking in to make sure you're all right. And she just kind of texted me back saying, hey, yeah, I'm good. Thanks for checking in. And that was it. But
Great.
we ran into each other at a pool party, I think 2 or 3 months after we wrapped up filming, and that's
Civil.
really been it.
Was this the Mike pool party where Casey was crying?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. There was a lot going on there for sure. And like I said, this was that pool party was also, this is also over a year ago. So
Craziness.
Any context you want to add that was left out?
no, I think it was genuinely like everybody was there. It was literally the entire cast was there at the pool party, and this was pretty fresh. So like pretty fresh after filming. So there was a lot of people trying to connect with each other, a lot of like exploring potential relationships and exploring connections and flirting and all that going on there for sure.
Okay.
So
Before you met your girlfriend, did you explore with anybody else from the pods?
I'm trying to think. I had a really good connection with another gal in the pods. Her name was Kaylin. We actually went all the way up to engagement day, and I was either going to propose to Kaylin or Ali, right? And
That's crazy.
I never actually. Yeah, I know, that was completely not shown. It was made to look as if like I only had Ali and I proposed to her on day one, which couldn't be further from the truth. But I actually never did explore a relationship with Kaylin in any way. I think she was kind of not interested in that, and understandably so, right? Like, I picked another gal over her in the pod, so that didn't pan out to be anything.
In addition to cutting back on the vaping, have you eliminated flip-flops from your wardrobe?
Fuck no. I still have. I have even more flip-flops now. Those weren't flip-flops. Those were not flip-flops in Baja. Those were slides that I had.
Okay. That is different.
Yeah.
There is a difference. There is a difference.
They're for sale. By the way, they're for sale. If anybody wants to pay $500 for them, I'll sell them.
Okay.
Wow, there you go.
Heard it here first. Anton, appreciate you joining us, man. Thanks for taking the time. If you're ever in LA, come check out our studios. Take some Polaroids that we have all our guests who come on the show do that.
No doubt, for sure.
All right, buddy.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having me, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Thanks.
All right.
Fan of him too.
You know, they seem
Shit.
like all
This is-
fine people.
This is what this show does. It really just, you realize that they're all just human beings.
They are
and
just-
they all,
Yeah.
you see past the character in the edited version, and you just like love the human being.
It's
and
that part.
That's
But it is
what this
fascinating
show
that
does.
Anton and Ali fell in love in the pods, and they definitely are not compatible.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're not. They both seem like normal, good people, but not
It is
for
also,
each other.
I love the he said, she said.
I like
fun.
knowing the what hit the cutting room floor,
Yeah.
where it's just like there's other context to the conversation, because sometimes some things get brought up where they're like arguing and you're like, when did this happen?
Yeah.
Or what are we arguing about? And he's like, no, we had a 10-hour conversation about it. You
That
just
is
didn't see
wild.
it.
that
Also,
he
he
had
had a whole other connection.
A whole other
relationship.
connection.
But that's, listen,
It's TV, baby.
yeah, it's TV,
It backs up Patrick too, because Patrick was like, dude, everybody had multiple couples. We're like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
They did.
It's also
Mhm.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's a TV show.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
like we say we want to see it, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We don't
honestly,
wanna
it's
see
so
it.
true.
The edit, I gotta be honest, the edit is already really slow.
See?
When I
6
watch Love Is
episodes of
Blind.
Pods, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just like,
guys.
let's speed. I do tend to double that speed.
Well, that will wrap it up for us today. Thank you to all our guests, Ali, Anton, and of course, Shannon Beador. We appreciate them all taking the time. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow for an explosive Going Deeper with Sparkle, Megan, and Jordan on the couch together in studio, hashing it out. Leaving it all on the table for a Going Deeper you will not want to miss. And then Thursday, we got a lot of good stuff for you. We will see you all then. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.